Okay, good morning, everybody. I know it's a little early, but it seemed like a good time to do a quick stream on Rockingham. We are going to start with the Xfinity race because we're going to do all of 1998 in numerical order. And Dad was with Tim Fedor in 1998 Kleenex number 33 in the Busch Grand National. And we were on yesterday's broadcast. We were questioning whether he was with Fedor in 1999 because I said he went to, the CC Welliver team. And he said, yeah, I was there with him for a while there too. So, yeah. So we got a lot of races to be able to watch that he is in. And I do believe from time to time he did still help Birdie or Kenny Wallace's team, wherever Kenny would be. He always liked helping the younger drivers. They were younger than starting out, so it was something he still does today as well. And we'll get into all that local stuff later. Let me see. Let me start this. And I'm going to go off camera in a second and make my coffee.
Welcome back to The Rock. They're lined up, ready to fire them up and bring them out in just a moment for the NASCAR Busch Series. Time now for your Duralube starting grid here today. Duralube starting grid, tomorrow's technology today. Your pole sitter, Tony Stewart. Talked to him a little bit earlier in the Joe Gibbs Pontiac. And the Burton machine alongside car number 9. That's the track gear Ford of Jeff Burton. Second row today, we saw Matt Hunter. He stepped into one of the Team 34 cars, the Stanley Pontiac. Glenn Allen Jr. alongside with a very good run to line up fourth here today. Elliott Sadler will go fifth. Dale Earnhardt Jr. starts outside the third row. Fourth row has Mark Green from Kentucky and Dick Trickle, the great veteran, in the Dennis Shoemaker car. Fifth row today, Eldon Sawyer in car number 38. That's the Barbasol Ford. Andy Santerre, one of the youngsters from Maine in that Monroe muffler and brake car. Buckshot Jones starts in row 6 alongside former World of Outlaws champion Dave Blaney in the Amoco 93. That's Pontiac. Mike McLaughlin, pole sitter at Daytona last week. Young Blaze Alexander from Pennsylvania in a Chevrolet. And your eighth row today will have Casey Atwood from just outside Nashville, Tennessee, 17 years young, and one of the old veterans, Robert Presley. He wouldn't probably like to hear us say that, Darrell Waltrip, but Robert Presley certainly got a lot of track time here. Mark Martin, who has been so dominant here in years past, and Tim Fedor will make up row number 9. And your 10th row, another young star, Hank Parker Jr. Buddy Baker, you like him quite a bit alongside Mike Dillon.
Well, I like his father a lot. He's a Bassmaster champion, but this kid is a great race car driver. I watched him win on the All-Pro circuit.
Dad's working with Tim Fedor in that
Tracy
car,
Leslie, one of the veterans of the series from
Hank
Michigan.
Parker Jr., he's like really a really fun person too. He's a
Jim
likable
Bound from
kid.
Portland, Oregon, coming in with his unsponsored Chevrolet, and Kevin Schwantz, the former World Superbike champion, who is absolutely fearless. One of the Grubb youngsters, the 52 today, is Kevin Grubb from Virginia and Lyndon Amick from South Carolina in the Scana Pontiac. 14th row, Matt Kenseth in the 17 car. That is the Robbie Reiser Chevrolet, and Derek Cope in Mac Martin's number 92. We got Brad Loney from the ASA Series. That's Mike Laughlin's 45 car, and Jason Jarrett, Dale's son, car number 32, the White Rain Ford. Mike Cope, the former Slim Jim All-Pro Series champion, and Gary Layton in car number 46. Take you back, one of the great veterans, Phil Parsons in car number 10, and Shane Hall from South Carolina in the 85. Jeff Crow, Mark's brother. Joe Bessie in car number 6 from Maine, won at Dover last year on TNN. Randy LaJoie, the two-time Busch Series champion. What do you think, Darrell, coming from row 19? Has he got a shot today?
Well, it's going to be hard, but yeah, he can do it. He's a tough driver, and he'll make it up there.
Harvey Sadler will be alongside. Row 20 today will include Jason Keller and Jeff Purvis in the James Finch car. And also taking provisionals, Stevie Reeves in the Agajanian Curb 43, Mike Stefanik in the 96. And Larry Pearson will be shotgun on the field today, taking the past champions provisional in the Beverage Source Pontiac. Ready to go with 200 miles coming your way this afternoon. The GM Goodwrench Service Plus 200 on TNN Motorsports. We'll be back to roll them off for you in just a moment. Back live at North Carolina Speedway, The Rock, the NASCAR Busch Series coming your way today on TNN Motorsports. The GM Goodwrench Service Plus 243 cars ready to take the green. We'll take a look at our AutoZone race analysis as the clouds start to gather a little bit here. More than $417,000 up today in purse money. 43 starters will go 200 miles. Race record set 2 years ago, well, a year and a half ago. Mark Martin in the fall of '96, 124.397 miles an hour. And I think the key stat, gentlemen, Mark Martin's dominance here, 8 of 11. That's unbelievable at one racetrack.
But you know, he's got a Taurus today. That's a little bit of an unknown for him in this series. And as well as he starts so far back, he's handicapping himself a little bit more every time we come here.
Well, Rick, I asked them about that, and they said, let me tell you about it. We're running the same springs, same shocks, everything. We'll be okay.
How often, though, can you run the same setup 1 year to the next at a racetrack, especially with a new body style?
Well, I think that's what most everybody does. You get a combination for a racetrack, it works. I don't care what you do. You got spring, shock, sway bar combination. It works. I don't care what you put it on. Probably take it off that Ford and put it on a Chevrolet and it works. He's got a little magic for this place. He sure doesn't want to lose it.
What about tire construction, though? Has Goodyear brought a new tire this weekend?
The tires here are supposed to have a little bit more rubber on them because we all complain about the wear. As I said, 80 laps is about it. And they brought the tire with same construction, same blah, blah, blah. But this got a little wee bit more rubber on it. Hopefully, you can run them a little bit longer.
We've got 6 rides to take with you. Phil Parsons will have our Duraloop in-car camera. Phil starts back in 33rd spot. Told me this morning he thinks he's got a really good race car today. The Stanley Tools in-car camera for Matt Hutter. He starts 3rd. Matt Hutter making his 2nd career Busch Series start. Winn-Dixie in-car camera from Mark Martin today. That'll be a good shot out of the 17th starting spot. And Randy LaJoy, our Channel Lock in-car camera today from way back in 37th. Had to take a provisional to make the show, the 2-time series champion. Shane Hall, the 85 car, our Durashine in-car camera. He lines up in 34th spot. And Mike Stefanik, the Big A Auto Parts machine. He has the Big A in-car camera for us today. Mike Stefanik won 2 NASCAR championships last season in the Modified Tour and also the Busch North Tour. It'll be interesting to watch how he performs today. Let's go to pit road quickly. Glenn Jarrett.
Elton Sawyer had a great qualifying run, Rick. He starts in 9th, but they had an engine problem yesterday. They patched it up for qualifying. They had to change engines. They are running the Daytona engine that they ran last week. They think it'll be fine. One last bit of advice from Sandy Jones, the crew chief for Elliott Sadler. He told Elliott, hey, don't try to take your bubble gum out of your mouth with your driving gloves on. Steve?
There's a place no map will show you where GR cars turn into full-blown track beasts. Every apex we nail, every second we shave, it's all knowledge that goes right back into your ride. You in?
Please.
Steve Burns is on pit road for us today, too. Go ahead.
Rick, Matt Hutter also had a great qualifying effort. As we said, he's starting 3rd, but this young man is very apprehensive. It's just his 2nd start. He said, we qualified great, but on long practice runs, I'm a little bit worried about the setup. We're awfully loose.
You know, Matt is the son of Ron Hutter, the famous engine builder in so many series. And I don't know, he's been winning a lot of races up in Wisconsin and all, but this is a big step up for him. Only his 2nd race.
Sure is. Safety car about to dive down onto pit road. We've got 200 miles of competition coming your way. Our first NASCAR coverage of 1998 on TNN Motorsports. We're glad you're with us. Tony Stewart is your pole sitter. Geoff Burton is alongside in row number 1. They come to the line. The green is out. We're underway at the Rock. And trouble already. One of the Crow brothers machines down inside. That's Mark Crow in the Clearwater car. He gets refired back on the speedway. Tony Stewart leads Burton down into 3.
I don't know what happened to that 80 car. Did you see what happened?
I did. On the very start there, a bunch of cars got 3 wide there. One car kept up, and everybody started packing up, and he was just in a chain reaction there.
Spun down onto the inside of the main straightaway. Fighting for 3rd. Glenn Allen gets inside Matt Hutter to take the spot.
Yeah,
and trouble down the backstretch. We've got smoke from one automobile.
That's the 80 of Crow. He was involved in that first lap incident. He's getting back to the pits.
He will come around and get some attention on pit road. We'll show it to you. Here's the start once more. Crow started way back in the field.
See right there, he gets tagged from behind.
Yeah.
Jim Bound involved in that one too. It looked like right behind the Crow automobile. So.
You know, we see that happen a lot, Rich. These guys, they're anticipating the starts, what they're doing, and somebody goes and somebody doesn't.
Let's go to pit road. Steve Burns.
And Rick, we've got 4 crew members, make it 5, working to the right front of the 80 car of Mark Crow. Heavy damage to that quarter panel. They're also trying to tape the hood down to get him back on the racetrack. Lots of duct tape and heavy damage to the 80 car.
Tough break indeed. Here's your lead battle. Geoff Burton sticking right with Tony Stewart.
Well, right now these 2 cars are nose to tail, and you can see them. They're running very well, but Geoff Burton right now is making his presence known to Tony Stewart. He's looking on the inside there, and right now, right around the bottom of the racetrack, you can see the cars going in and hugging that inside. As they go along, they'll start running a higher line through the corner.
A little further back, you've got 8 or 10 cars in a battle. That's for 9th spot on back. Mark Martin working his way, trying to get around the 59 of Robert Presley.
Yeah, he's got pretty much a roadblock right now. Nowhere to go. It's so traffic's so heavy, and man, these cars are, you can tell it's the 2nd race of the year.
Here's your battle for the lead. Burton to the inside. Gary Layton in trouble. 1 car on the wall. Stevie Reeves is up in the wall. Got another car involved there too. Looked like Larry Pearson was in the midst of that. That's heading down into turn 3. Burton grabbed the lead coming down to the stripe. There's Stevie Reeves in the Agajanian Curb Records automobile, the Ford Thunderbird. They are changing to Chevrolet, so that'll hasten their changeover, I think.
Wow, I tell you, a lot of damage to the right front corner there of Stevie Reeves' car. It happened at the back on the back straightaway going down towards turn 3. The black marks are all over the outside wall there.
Gary Layton stopped down on the inside of the apron going into turn 3. We'll show it to you once again down the back straightaway. Here's the action. Joe Bessie there.
Okay, this is coming out of turn 2 here. As they come towards the back straightaway, you see Bessie there in the 6th car. They make contact. Layton into the outside wall. Now they're down going into turn 3 and back behind there. You can see the smoke and all the cars getting involved there.
Layton able to gather it up. Stevie Reeves up into the wall with some hard damage to the 43 car. So a tough break for Reeves and for Layton. We are under caution after just 5 laps. Your leaders, Geoff Burton, Stewart, Glenn Allen, and Matt Hunter, the first 4. We'll be right back. Back at North Carolina Speedway, Rockingham, North Carolina on TNN Motorsports, the NASCAR Busch Series Grand National Division, race number 2. The 1998 season's been a wild one so far. Reminder, you can check out country.com, your personal source for all things country, from race cars to country stars. Connect to country.com. We have a weekly race day commentary on there as well. And tomorrow, you'll be able to check out the in-car camera pictures from our coverage of the GM Goodwrench Service Plus 400, a webcast on country.com. Rockingham.com is also involved in that. And go online during the race broadcast tomorrow. You'll be able to get even more looks at what's going on via the in-car cameras that we will have here tomorrow.
You know, Rick, coincidentally, that 80 car, I think he and Joe Bessie and several of these guys that are in trouble here were in trouble on the first lap at Daytona. So, and I think they started close to the rear there. You get back here in the back of the pack, you just always got a chance of something happening.
We talked about it at the top of the broadcast, too. You've got a lot of drivers who haven't made very many starts in the Busch Series, much less here at Rockingham. How big a factor is that?
Well, it's a big factor. They don't know this racetrack that well. And like Buddy was saying about turn 2, it's treacherous off that corner over there. It's very tight.
The one thing you have to do, you have to get experience. And how are you going to get it if you don't race for it? So that's just part of racing. You have to understand that these guys are out there racing just like everyone else. They will make mistakes occasionally.
To pit road, Glenn Jarrett.
Well, guys, Andy Santerre already got a problem here. He's been in there. They've raced the hood. He's got a throttle sticking on the car. They think they might have the problem solved now, but kind of a scary moment. That is not something you want here at Rockingham, because I can speak for that personally. I had the throttle stick one time here and about went out of this place. Also, Tony Stewart, we saw him lose the lead to Geoff Burton. He is already reporting his car's a little bit loose. That's not what you want to be reporting at this stage of the race.
Yeah, real quickly, you know, you got rookie drivers, you got rookie crews, too. Let's take a look at that, Rick. See if we can figure out what happened here. It's coming off 2 over, wasn't it, buddy?
Yep.
Yeah, we're riding with Mike Stefanik here, who's at the back of the field. This is in front of Mike.
You can see what a driver can't see as he goes through the smoke there. If something would have been there, there'd have been a lot. Mike Stefanik was going through there. Could see absolutely nothing.
It looked like Bessie got into that other car and shoved him up in the fence. So, and then he
My
bounced off.
coffee is
I don't know what happened after that.
A lot of work going on pit road. Steve Burns.
Back here on the backstretch, Rick, Stevie Reeves, tough break for him early in the race. They've got the tin snips out. They're cutting away what's left of the front sheet metal. The right side completely gone. Now they're taking away the left side. They've got their hands down in the engine compartment, trying to see if there's any loose lines. You see there's a water leak, so tough damage for Stevie Reeves.
Tough way to start things out here at Rockingham. Just a couple of laps on the board. We've completed 9. If we can go green this time, safety car is headed down pit road. And it'll be Jeff Burton leading him off turn 4 in the Roush Racing Ford, the Trek Gear Taurus. Stewart second. Glenn Allen is third. Hutter and the 66 of Elliott Sadler right there in the top 5.
Yeah, Burton got a pretty nice jump on the start there, and put a little gap between him and Stewart. So I think if Tony's smart, I've watched the kid race a lot, obviously, and I think he's smart. He'll just follow that number 9 car for a while.
Dave Blaney with Mark Martin filling his mirrors. Blaney had a good run going last week at Daytona, but Martin on the charge. This is for 12th.
Blaney in the 93 car there with Amico on the hood. He could see Mark Martin coming. He kind of went in the corner, bounced up a lane, and Mark went right under him.
When I used to run Nashville a long time ago, that's what I'd always do. Guys that think they were as low as they could get in the corner, and I'd go under them. And that's real intimidating, and that's what Mark does. These cats down here in 3 and 4.
Martin getting by Robert Presley a couple of laps ago. He's picked up 12th spot now from Dave Blaney as they work 3 and 4. Tracy Leslie there alongside Hutter. Martin trying to get close to Mike McLaughlin, who is up in 10th to Trickle in that mix as well. Trickle's gotten shuffled back a couple of spots. There's McLaughlin directly ahead. We take a look a little further up. Tony Stewart and Glenn Allen battling for
a
second.
lot of times I'm not quite sure of the date that Dad started here. I'm not sure if he's still flying around with Phil Martacci or what, but they only had lived like 3 miles from the base motorsports shop, so being friends with Birdie, Dad hung out there, you know, a lot when he had time. So then he ended up crew chief in that cleanups 33 throughout most of this year. But the start date I'm a little unsure of, but Dad said he's got his big box of notebooks so he can double check everything, and I gave him a list of all the drivers that I could think of from 1957 until 2000. Now he's done stuff since, but that's for a start, so he can put notes and things like that. Refresh his memory in the chronological order.
Mike McLaughlin out of the inside of Hutter as they battle it out for 10th.
Now in 1999, I think he was with that 36 is where Fedewa went, and I was questioning yesterday if he worked with Fedewa only in 98. And he said, no, I went to the 36 with him for a while too.
Sideways in the corner, and he does not want to go on the bottom part of the racetrack. He's using all that racetrack to do what he can do with it.
See, when you're out there by yourself, and you can get around this racetrack real nicely, but when they come into turn 1 down here 3 wide, you've never been like that before, so you really got to, you don't know what to do.
I'll need to look
as we take a look at the group he's running with,
at some details of the rear bumper and see what dings or dents that Fedewa gets, because we have a rear bumper in the family. My sister has it at her house of the cleanup Fedewa car.
He's back there in a group of cars that includes the 45, Derek Cope, the 92, Jeff Purvis.
And that particular one has like kind of a scarred dent on the left rear corner, but not a lot, just like a little dent.
Andy Santerre
like
up
a tear
as
in
well.
the
We're listening
fiberglass.
to Randy LaJoy's spotter speak to him.
Santerre is doing a great job too. He had to come in and make that pit stop, but that car is pretty fast, I'm telling you.
Looks like he's been able to stay on the lead lap. LaJoy tracking Jeff Purvis as they work down into turn number 1. Santerre on the outside there. There's the 29.
LaJoy's car, that 74, was in the same garage as the 33.
Watch this.
I have a couple of photographs from that era, and I can show you that shortly. Bad guys too.
The 45 car, Brad Loney, the ASA veteran.
They got the kind of edge.
Purvis had a great run last week at Daytona, run second, and he's doing a pretty good job here today. He's from up there about where the Casey Atwood kid is from. They're all north
This
side
is on
of
NASCAR Classics on
the
YouTube.
south side of Nashville.
Something to do with an app.
Middle Tennessee.
You can get credit for watching
Kevin
these, but
Schwartz
I don't.
doing nicely too, sitting 25th there.
I haven't had really time to
Steve
explore it.
Burns, what are they thinking down there in the Larry Lockerbie pits?
Well, you guys were talking about Tennessee. then Bobby Hamilton, the driver of the Kodak car.
That's some veteran help to have up on the top. What does it do to have a guy who's got great experience on that spot race?
Well, there again, when they go into turn one down here like they're doing right there,
Kind of
three
nice
wide,
to see Curvis back in the James Finch ride.
You know whether they're telling to mow up and let those other guys go, or going down in
Stefan's
there
a
yourself.
guy from
You know what the
New
preferred
England
line is.
Modifieds. I
This
grew
is a
up
battle
with
for
his
26th through
wife.
32nd spot. Here's LaJoy trying to get
You know,
inside.
is like
They battle for
she was a
29.
couple years older than me,
Boy, it's
but
getting tight back in that pack.
we were
I'm
basically
looking right there. I was
teenagers.
kind of drawing my feet up here because I know what it's like coming off turn 2
You
with
know,
cars up
like
under you and
growing
one on
up
the
in
outside.
You know you got a pretty good race going on when your whole television screen is covered up with race cars.
Jason Keller getting into that group as well, along with Schwantz down the backstretch. Here's LaJoy starting to pick him off now. Randy on the move. LaJoy moving to 28th spot. Remember, he started back in 37th, and we've only put 22 laps on the board.
And you got to also remember this. He has got to hustle. When you're that far back in the field, you've got to hustle through the traffic so you don't go a jeopardy going a lap down.
LaJoy now battling with the 45 of Loney. This is for 28th, and he gets by on the outside. The two-time Busch Series champion who clinched his second title here last year in the fall, about 4 months ago, 5 months ago. There's Dick Trickle, Matt Kenseth, Tim Fedewa, and Matt Hunter. That's a battle much closer to the front. They're running 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th back there. Hunter at the moment started up at the front. He's being shown back in 17th spot, so this pack of cars a little further back in the running order right now.
Looks like car 55 could be having a problem.
Blaze Alexander in the 20, sitting 18th, being patient. Had a couple of problems in the first 5 laps if you're just joining us. Mark Crowe spun on the green flag, no caution. Then we had an altercation involving Stevie Reeves and Gary Layton just 5 laps in. This is the front of the pack. Jeff Burton got by Tony Stewart a few laps back. He is your leader. Stewart about 3 seconds back. We'll be right back. Back live at North Carolina Speedway on TNN Motorsports, the NASCAR Busch Series. Today, the GM Goodwrench Service Plus 200. Rick Benjamin, Darrell Waltrip, Buddy Baker topside. Steve Burns and Glenn Jarrett are on pit road. Jeff Burton there, your leader. Guess who is on the move? Mark Martin is battling for 5th, trying to get by Mark Green for the spot on a turn 4.
It won't take long. Mark Green knows he's on the inside. Going down into 1, he'll check up and let Mark go right on by. This early in the race, you'd rather follow him than try to hold him up.
He has set up every pass in turn 3 and 4. If you keep an eye on him, he's got that left front wheel under the white line, and I mean, he is digging.
Speaking of digging, Randy LaJoy is digging hard. Started 37th today. He's come to 24th here in the first 33 laps. Moving by Blaze Alexander to gain a spot.
You know, Birdie knew his stuff.
Burns, are they happy with the 74 car?
We were
very much so.
joking around today. My dad said that
now, the reason he started so far back,
Birdie snuck in the pits at 9 years old and ended up breaking his leg in my father's pit area. And I remember Birdie as a kid, like a little older than me. Like when I was like 10, he was like 15 probably. Sweeping the garages, hanging out at Peter Fiandaca's, because these are all people my dad adopted their garages, and we mostly stayed in the car, did our homework or whatever while he fixed race cars. So it's mostly like that. Peter's, we got out and played with his little dog Cosmo when they had the gas station on Route 2 in Fitchburg, Massachusetts.
I'm sorry, that's Elton Sawyer there in the 38. Got confused by the black and red paint scheme.
So Birdie, like, he was born in the same hospital that I was born in, the same hospital my dad was born in, same hospital my grandparents were born in.
You'd think so.
You know, so it's a little small area
that up to 8th spot.
We all grew up in.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. there in the 3 car. I would imagine right now he's finding out, hey, it felt pretty good in practice, but I'm a little bit loose right now. Notice the back of the car dancing just a little bit.
You were sleeping when I went to see you.
Take a look up top of your screen there. You see NASCAR timing and scoring as presented by MCI.
You want to lay down and rest?
Nice job sitting 9th here in the early going. Okay, we've run 36 37 laps. Girl, you were saying tires would
My
go
puppy
75
came.
maybe 80 laps.
I just went and got milk for my coffee, and I saw she was sound asleep beside my son's.
Need an air pressure adjustment, need a wedge
My son was on the couch
the
there
car's
with
real loose, car's real tight.
watching
and the crew's
TV,
rallying over
and
there
she
trying
was
to figure out what to do to
sound
help you.
asleep.
Make the car better when they make that green flag pit stop if
So,
they
well,
have
she
to.
is.
One thing tough about this racetrack, a lot of
She's
times
enjoying
you'll have a
it.
push in the car. Now, actually make it look like
Now
it's
she
loose
just
coming
came and
off
laid
the
down
car.
over
Back
here
will
next
jump
to me.
out.
She has
So
a
all
bed
the
at,
time from up here,
at
what
the
we
foot of
see
my bed.
is
There's
not
her bed.
necessarily the plan when they make their pit stop.
Yeah, you'll have the wheels cut
And
so
her
hard
blankie,
left that
she
when the
has a
front does
blankie.
bite, it'll bring the back end around. And that's a kind of a
she's got
characteristic of this
toys.
racetrack.
You got toys.
Take a look at Robert Presley, the great veteran,
Yeah,
the ST Motorsports
the
Chevrolet.
wagon.
Moved into that car midway through last season. Presley
You
sitting
got
eighth
toys
behind
'cause you're
Buckshot
such a
Jones,
good
moving out of the
girl.
main straightaway. There's Mark Green of the 37, had a good qualifying run, and he's got a nice run going here in sixth right now. Back to Dale Earnhardt Jr. This is the battle for eighth now,
I
trying to
just
put a
like-
move
I
on Presley on the back
missed you.
straightaway.
You know, I expect
I
that
missed
37
my
car,
Skelly
Mark
when I
Green, are
was
going to have a
sleeping.
pretty good year this year. He got a year of experience under his belt. That's a good
We'll
team.
go out
They
after
ran
the sun
awfully
comes
well
out.
last year to
Gotta
be
be.
kind of rookies. So I'm
So
expecting
we
him to do
don't
really
have
well
the
this year.
animals.
Yeah,
There's
on the
animals
inside,
out
yeah.
there right now.
Earnhardt looking to the inside. Presley will let him go right on
It
into
could be
turn
about
one.
anything.
This car is
Nothing's
really looking pretty decent right now.
probably
What he might be
harmful
doing,
at
just
night.
riding it out right now and trying to figure out what he needs. You see him giving him the hand signal there. Thanks for letting me by and not holding me up.
See, the other thing about the cars is the balance. You may
I
start
think
them out a little loose,
alligators
knowing they're
are
going to
not
tighten up. You may start out with when the fuel burns off, the car will start to tighten up and feel really good to you.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. doing a great job here so far, sitting eighth in the early going, 41 complete at the Rock this afternoon. Robert Presley sticking right with him.
probably
Now
are.
Presley probably thinking he can tuck in and
Yeah,
ride
you
there and
wait
be in
the
good shape
house
for a
for a
while.
bit till the
Yeah, well,
sun
he knows
comes
he's
up so you
driving.
can see what's
He
out.
knows Dale Sr.
There's
is telling Dale Jr.
critters
what
out
to
there.
do, so that
There's
might be a good
animals.
car.
That looked like a move we saw from a black three car as he made that pass down through the tri-oval a moment ago. This is the guy who's wearing him out at the moment. 42 laps are on the board. Geoff Burton grabbed the lead early from Tony Stewart. He is out in front comfortably. We'll be right back at the Rock. Welcome back live to North Carolina Speedway, The Rock. There's your leader, Geoff Burton in the 9, and he is in heavy traffic trying to work by Derek Coburn.
Stella is my Carolina plot
Got the
hound.
strongest car, no question.
She's 6.5 years old.
Mark Martin just went by the start
And she
finish
has
line
a
as he was
kitty
coming
cat.
off of turn 2 over
Her
there.
kitty
So
cat's name is
not quite
Cezanne.
about a quarter of a lap behind yet.
That's the
And
battle
her
for
kitty
second
cat
spot. Tony Stewart, your
is
pole
just
sitter,
6
has run
years old.
second since about 10
Last
laps
week.
in. Martin, who started back in 17th, has just come charging through the field. He is up on not quite Stewart's deck lid, but almost as they come out of 4.
That gauge you can see on the dash of Mark Martin's car, don't get alarmed. That's the fuel pressure gauge, and when he backs off to go in the corner, it fluctuates back and forth. When he gets back on, it'll level right out.
Martin's got to be awfully happy with the way that car's working here in the early going.
Yeah, you know, I know those guys are just worried to death about those cars and how good they're going to be.
Now.
Well, that's just what they say down in the garage, you know, down there in the garage. They're really worried about him.
Mark Martin is flying low here this afternoon, but his teammate Geoff Burton, how much do they share, Buddy Baker? Burton's been wearing the field out.
Well, you know, their shops are together. They work together, and I'm sure Mark Martin would like nothing better than to share his information with his teammates. So it's a real input for Geoff Burton. He started out great in this division.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. Burton last year was, you know, he was winning some races and running good last year. I'll tell you something, it's a pretty good race right now. Mark can't get by the 44 car right now. I think Tony looked in the mirror and picked it up just a tad.
Let's bring Steve Burns in on this, Steve.
Yeah, Rick, just talk to Bob.
Buenos dias, good to see you.
Martin's pushed for a national car, and he
Good
said
morning.
They're not going to come until they see Geoff Burton come down pit road, and he also said they're both saving their equipment. How about it, Glenn Jarrett?
Well, Steve, I'm just checking with Buddy Parrott down in Geoff Burton's pits, and they're all going to try to run the halfway depending on tires. Meanwhile, right next to him, Glenn Allen has started dropping back at a great run going. The pack is
Car number 33, Vidoa, is who my dad would be working with during this race.
They're going to try to get him in the pits as soon as possible, see if they can correct that. But everybody down here saying they're going to at least try to go halfway if the tires will do it.
Well, there's your leader, Burton in the 9, working on Brad Loney, who has shown 27th. So Burton with an opportunity to lap the 27th place car here in the first 50 or so laps.
The tires will run 80. They might run 100 miles here. But the thing about it is the driver just has to be really, really careful. It's not that they're so worn out. It's just that they don't work anymore. Once they get
Numero
down
30 y
Mark
Trace.
Martin taking a look on Tony Stewart as they race out of turn 4 and head to the trioval. This is for second spot now.
But that's been going on. You know, Mark has passed every car he's come to. Just blew
I
right
think
by him.
that's
And that's
how-
been going on right there for quite some time now. He can't just.
But my father is working with
got
that
trouble,
car.
turn 1.
And one car up in the wall. That's Dave Blaney for the second consecutive week. Blaney bites the wall hard in Bill Davis's body. World of Outlaws champion in 1995. Blaney very fast here again this weekend, but it got away from him, and he backed in hard.
That's a Bill Davis car, and it's a great race car. Blaney learning lessons the hard way right now, but I tell you, this car
This is
really torn up.
1998.
The back's gone there. You can see it's up to the back window there where he got into it backwards. The left front corner's torn up.
See, that's
Dave
the
Blaney.
rookie
I
coming
think
out
that
anymore.
is Ryan
He's going
Blaney.
into turn 1. He got a car underneath of you. That's where
father.
the spotter's got to say, buddy, let him go, because that's exactly what can happen. It gets tight getting into turn 1.
Our third caution of the afternoon comes out on lap 55 for Dave Blaney, the Ohio star.
There's a place no map will show you where GR cars turn into full-blown track beasts.
Oops, 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 oops.
Driver of incredible talent, just a maestro in a sprint car. Ran several ARCA races the last couple of years with Stan Hubbard's Ford team and did very, very well. Made the jump this year with Amoco backing into the NASCAR Busch Series, planning 22 races this year.
Boy, these guys are waiting to get down pit road right now. Here comes the leader down pit road as we speak.
Safety crew over to check on Dave Blaney. Leader is on pit road.
Another thing, Rich, about the tires, when they start to go away, the car gets a little unpredictable, and things that you were able to do earlier in the race you can't do. And again, a rookie will have a problem like that.
Let's go to pit road. Steve Burns.
And Mark Martin is in, Rick. And you talked about the team racing of Roush Racing. Some of Chad Little's pit crew members from the Winston Cup team changing tires, carrying tires on the right side. It's going to be 4 tires and gas only for Mark Martin. Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Geoff Burton is in. They had a little trouble on the right side. As you say, it's down there with Martin's car. It'll also be 4 tires of fuel here. Geoff is down and away. He beats everybody out. Tony Stewart is in down here. And Glenn Allen has got the hood up. They're trying to fix that plug wire. Mark Martin goes by, I believe, in 3rd place.
Tony Stewart's bunch, the Joe Gibbs team, with a good pit stop, it looked like, for Stewart. They got him down and away nicely. Here's Glenn Allen Jr.'s machine. We told you a few moments ago. Plug wire troubles. Glenn Jarrett.
All right. They've got, you can see in their hand there, they've changed all the plug wires, so they had them all in their hand to change them all. They did find it. I can hear the car running now. It seems to be hitting on all 8 cylinders. Nope.
No,
sounds like it's just a little ragged, pulling out yet, so I got a feeling he'll be back in next time.
So the Luxair team will have to work on that. Dave Blaney is out of the Amoco Pontiac, and he has taken a breath. His helmet is
Good
off.
morning,
So good
people.
news. Let's show it to you again. Get a look at Blaney here on the outside.
Yeah, here he is going down into turn 1 on the outside there, and this car, I don't know if he touched him or not from high this high up. I can't tell, but it looked pretty close.
Let's look at a tighter shot here. We have several angles. You can see going down in the corner there, Blaney on the outside.
Yeah.
This car is all the way on the bottom there. Wow.
It looked from that view as though Blaney might have turned in a little too much.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. I mean, you got to look at it 2 ways. First of all, he's got to make that turn. You know, people always say, oh, he cut in front of him. Well, he did, but he's got to make that turn just like the guy on the inside does, but the angles are so different. The guy on the inside's down low, the guy on the outside swings down in front of him, and they collide.
Tough way to start your Busch Grand National career for young Dave Blaney. 2nd week in a row, his car has come back on a roll back. We're live at North Carolina Speedway on TNN Motorsports for the NASCAR Busch Series. We'll be right back.
Everybody has
We're
a
back
job.
at North Carolina Speedway.
Every pit
Rockingham,
stop
North Carolina, the
starts
NASCAR
all
Busch Series.
over.
Today, the GM
It's
Wrench
fun.
Service Plus 200. As we take a look, the driver's getting ready to refire after the caution for Dave Blaney's trip into the wall.
Like
up
that
in turn
gas
1
guy
a few
you
moments
saw,
ago
that's
with Bill
all
Davis
he does
Pontiac,
is
and a
gas.
hard hit indeed. As we take a look at some of our onboard cameras for you today. Shane Hall's ride. He's getting ready to go again.
At the
Buddy,
track
go.
during the
You can
pit
see
stop.
Phil
He
Parsons, several of the
might
cars
have
going
a
back and
multitude
forth.
of
You
other
picked up
jobs,
an
but
incredible amount of rubber on the
during
tires.
the
Just
race,
running around here
that's
slow. You really have
his
to shake them
job.
back and forth like that and get rid of all the stuff on the tire itself.
Yeah, and then another thing, buddy, after a caution, you got your air pressure real low. And just in a couple of laps of wiggling around like that, you can get a couple of pounds of buildup.
Let's go back to pit road. Glenn Jarrett.
And Glenn Allen is back again in the 99 Luxair Chevrolet, guys, and he has still got that problem. The number 3 cylinders.
Modified cars take about 4 laps for the stagger to come in.
We're ready for a restart.
Looks that way. Safety car is in.
From what I recall, these cars, these Xfinity cars, would hit their maximum speed at about 15 laps and then start to drop off. But it took about 7 laps.
Here comes Martin as they come down the back straightaway.
Sometimes to be able to get accurate feel or whatever. I think is what I remember. Then now everything's different.
Tony almost just had to let him go or else get into it.
But you can actually visibly see in a modified race when the cars come in.
There's a battle a little further back in the pack. Derek Cope involved in that mix of cars. Jr. back there as well. Everybody tracing the 2 Roush Fords at the moment. Burton and Martin. We look a little further back in the pack. There's Buckshot Jones, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the 88 of Kevin Schwantz. Here's Derek Cope. Looks like some smoke coming out of the AC Delco Chevrolet as he works off of turn 4.
That'll go away. That's just low air pressure in the tires, and that left rear tire will rub a fender until it builds up a little bit, and then he'll be okay. Oh, we got one high down there. It's Matt Hutter.
Matt Hutter goes up toward the wall just as we looked outside at turn 2. Dale Earnhardt Jr. at speed at the moment as the field moves down the back straightaway, just restarting after the Dave Blaney incident a few moments ago. We go on board with Matt Hutter in the Stanley Pontiac.
They were interviewing him at the Daytona race, and he said, I don't have one of my father's engines in because he was too busy making them for somebody else. He had to go get one from some...
there as well. They're a little further back in the pack. Randy LaJoya, we're told, started 37th here today, and he's been working his way up very patiently so far.
Buddy, Matt Hutter's spotter is his dad, Ron. How'd you like to have your dad spotting for you? That'd be a real treat, wouldn't it?
Say, Dad, we need more horsepower.
On board with Randy LaJoya into 1. He has worked his way up to 11th. Some good pit work and some heady driving as he goes around Hank Parker Jr. He was not on the same lap as the 74 car at this point down the back straightaway. So LaJoya may be a factor in this one before it's all over. He's got Tim Fedewa, his teammate, right with him, running 12th as they work into turn 3 and 4.
Well, right now with those 4 brand new tires on, everybody out there thinks they're a great race car driver. But that'll go away pretty quick.
We were hearing sometimes as few as 20 or 25 laps would be enough to make you hang on hard to your steering wheel.
It makes you finesse the steering wheel and the gas pedal. That's think about that 99 car having a plug wire off. It didn't hurt him that bad on worn out tires.
Able to take a little less power, not spin the wheels as much. Phil Parsons we're on board with as he tracks behind the Matt Hutter automobile. They're battling for 14.
Yeah, Phil Parsons on the bottom there going into the corner.
My goodness gracious.
3 wide there briefly as we check your Napa field summary at the top of your screen. Here's Jeff Burton wheeling alone on through the tri-oval and over the start-finish line to put 67 laps on the board. Mark Martin still showing quite a ways back, 4 seconds off that restart.
Well, you can see right there. You talk about a great start. He's going down the middle of the back straightaway. There's the other car just now coming off turn 2.
Martin's got Tony Stewart right with him, so Stewart gave up second, but he is hanging right in there. Glenn Jarrett on pit road.
Well, guys, Buddy Parrott is calling the shots in the pits down here. He's talking to Geoff each and every lap. They made a very slight air pressure adjustment when they changed those 4 tires. That was the only adjustment they made on the car, and boy, does it ever seem to have worked. Geoff has asked Buddy to tell him lap times every lap and to keep talking to him. It helps him keep him in his rhythm. Right now, he is definitely in.
Well, you can say what you want to, but the cat I'm most impressed with is in 59 right now. That's Robert Presley. He is right there on the back door of Stewart, and of course Mark Martin, and he's running a great race.
Robert Presley started 16th here today. He has climbed to 4th in the ST Motorsports Chevrolet, and he's right with that group of cars, as DW pointed out. Now he may have Stewart in his gun sights here pretty solid.
He's been working on him last 2 or 3 laps.
Well, if you can remember a few years back, Robert Presley won at Dover. He was real good on the mile racetracks, and today he has this car really hooked up. I'd say he'll get Stewart before too many more laps. He's looking to the inside.
I've got a little Hank Parker Jr. story.
Well,
I used to shoot pool billiards at exit 36 bar and billiards, and
We talked about the top of the show. We talked a lot
One
about
night,
young drivers. And
Hank
it may be an
Parker
obvious
Jr.
point, but I think
came
it's
in
one worth
there
pointing out there.
with
Quick for a few
Stephen
laps,
Wallace.
but the real skill is in running a
And
longer race.
That's it. When the tires wear down and the track
they were
changes and the
punking
car
on me
becomes a
because
different
I was
animal
like
to
an
deal
old
with.
lady, and
you
they
know
were
that
being
experience,
all
you know what to do.
kind and saying, "Come help us pick out music on the jukebox and this and that." And they were joking around. And
Well, Rich, it's the same old story. There are exceptions. I mean, some
said
guys seem to be able to
something
drive
like,
these things, and some guys don't ever get the hang of it.
You see, Dale
he
Earnhardt
was
Jr.
talking
right there
to
on the
Stephen
back of
Wallace,
that
said
red
something
He's
in
really
reference
showing a
to
lot of
his
maturity
sister
here.
or
This is
something.
not an
Says,
easy racetrack to run.
I couldn't
Dale
date
Earnhardt Jr.
somebody
doing a
that looks
great
like
job.
this
Hanging
guy
right
with a
on the
wig.
line of the racetrack there. He's working
I
on a
just
guy that's
remember
won
that.
several times in this division,
And
he's
he just
beginning
was
here, so
a
this is
funny
very
kid.
impressive
He
run.
was a fun
Dale Earnhardt
person.
Jr. making his 11th
The day
career
I
Busch
met
Series
him,
start
it's the
today.
one and
he had
only
that
time I
incredible
met him.
tumble last week at
But he was a
Daytona.
funny
You were there,
kid.
DW, you were there. We all saw it happen. What's it like to have to strap in a week later after something like that?
Well, it's pretty nerve-wracking, especially when it was your dad's car.
Yeah, that was always the
I
roughest
can remember
part.
that on the
You know what
streets.
it, you know what it was like when you wrecked Dad's car. So you can imagine.
I drove for my father, and that was the worst part of all of it, believe me.
On board with Randy LaJoy as he works up through the field. LaJoy is moving up nicely, still 11th. There's Presley working on Stewart for third spot.
You know, usually Mark Martin just runs off and leaves people, but Tony Stewart is showing me something. He's right there with the 60 car, Mark Martin. He's maybe a car length, 2 car lengths back, but he's running a very, very smart and good race today.
Yeah, you know, when he caught Tony a while ago, he didn't just blow by him and go on. And so that tells me Tony's car is pretty darn good.
And he is an incredible race driver. Anybody who's watched him wheel in any racing league machine, or as we did at Daytona last week, he took his dirt track late model down there and raced a couple of nights while he was preparing for the Busch
They have
Series.
no idea what he
You know,
will
you
become,
gotta
huh?
like, you gotta like what he does, because he races 5 nights a week. It might be on a go-kart, it might be in a midget, it might be in a champ car, but you gotta like him.
Well, Robert Presley likes him right now. He's staying close enough to let him know it, too.
This is the battle for third spot. We've got 122 trips to go around the rock today. Don't forget tomorrow our coverage of the GM Goodwrench Service Plus 400, the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, on the air at 12:30 Eastern Time on TNN Motorsports. That is the 4th place car, and here's your race leader, car number 9. That's the Jeff Burton Ford. It's a track gear machine out of the Roush shops. Kevin Schwantz a lap down as they work down the main straightaway. Big crowd on hand for the 2nd race of the year for the NASCAR Busch Series at the Rock. We'll be right back.
Mark Martin t-shirt there.
This is just the start of a doubleheader motorsports weekend on TNN. We're back here tomorrow at North
Rockingham,
Carolina
North
Speedway at
Carolina.
12 o'clock Eastern Time for our pre-race coverage on TNN Motorsports. The GM Goodwrench Service Plus 400 for the NASCAR Winston Cup cars. We'll be on the air at 11:30 Eastern tomorrow on race day to set things up for you. Then we'll come to the Speedway at 12
When I
o'clock
was
Eastern Time. Eli Gold will be here
working
tomorrow.
in
Baker.
96 and 97, I went into those glass booths where you can see above the people. That's where the scorer's room was in there, the press room, and where they're broadcast from.
The motorsports coming your way on TNN tomorrow. There is the battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Tony Stewart right there behind Martin with Preston.
He was less than a half a car length.
Inside
back,
it
and
looked
they got
like
into some
carpeted
lap traffic, and
bleachers.
Tony
There's
lost a
like
little bit
3
of,
levels
ground to
or
him. It
so.
seems to me right now
Sometimes
that
4
Tony Stewart may be just a little bit quicker
rows
than
of
Mark Martin.
chairs at
They
like
may be. And I also noticed,
desks. We had
watching
desks
some
in
of these
front
cats,
of
they're
us.
starting to plow some new ground.
Like the press
The
room,
seems
except
to
we
be
didn't
moving
have
up
power.
just a little wee bit. A lot of these slower guys
We just
are
had a
running up
button
higher and
that we
higher.
had to click on each lap
Robert Presley, so impressive so far today in the
to
early
give you
going.
your
And
rundown.
charcoal machine, the Matchlite charcoal Chevrolet.
But as you can see, just behind them, the war goes
Those
on. Look at this. 3
brown
wide down
glass,
the
that
turn
smoke
one.
glass
Okay, I've seen
area
more
is where we
three-wide
would be
racing
right
in
above
turn
the
one
start
today than
finish
I've seen
line.
in 20 years here.
Whatever room
Junior
it
on
was.
the 8th. We got a glimpse of him a moment ago. Kevin Schwantz goes another lap down. Watch Mike McLaughlin. You all were talking a moment ago. McLaughlin dove inside, made it 3 wide into 3 to pick up a spot just a few moments back. So he's really rolling here today. Very
Yeah,
strong.
and you may say, well, so what, DW? Well, what I'm trying to tell you is, folks, they making it. That's the difference.
Taking a look at Buckshot Jones there. There's Schwantz in the 88, Dale Jr. in the 3, the 17 of Matt Kenseth. This is for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Schwantz is not in that group of cars in terms of his lap.
And Randy LaJoie in the 74 car, the defending champion in this group here. Started way back, but buddy, he's coming to the front.
We hadn't said much. Is he up to 10?
Yeah.
Hadn't said much about him lately.
The 17 of Kenseth, by the way, also started pretty far back in 27th spot today as we take you inside the Fina Chevrolet, the base motorsports machine of the two-time Busch Series champion from Norwalk, Connecticut. Randy LaJoie down the back straightaway watching Kenseth. Kenseth and his Robbie Reiser team talked to them for a while this morning. Interesting, they have put
Birdie, Steve Bird, he had a lot of experience with the full-body cars because his path from the modifieds that were, you know, early ended up being into the Busch Grand National North Series. And that Busch Grand National North Series was what Randy LaJoie drove when he was a young guy.
They've been that way for quite some time, buddy.
It's more like an American-Canadian tour. They used to go Busch by, they used to be called Busch NASCAR North, NASCAR like BGN, Busch Grand National North, or they were called the ACT Tour at one time, ACT, American Canadian Tour, because most of the races were in New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. So now they started running some races in Canada too back then, and they still do now. There's different series that overlap like that areas. It's kind of cool.
Down, and he is losing a ton of ground, being shown back at 26th. You take a look at the 33 of Tim Fedewa.
Those were cold races, I'll tell you
A
what.
while ago, he's doing much better, Steve.
Oh my God, I grew up as a kid going to a lot of those races. Because they'd have companion races with the modifieds.
He told me the 3 car was underneath of me there, and I thought I'd give him enough room. Hard to tell. I guess it is.
They finished 35th last week at Daytona. Another tough run for Dave Blaney early in the season.
Talented young driver, though, and he will be heard from, I think, before the season is over. Certainly with a very good team and a good sponsor.
He shouldn't feel bad. I've seen the best of them pull down thinking they had room to get in that corner and just barely get touched, and away they go.
Yeah, you're real loose getting in there anyway. That first turn is kind of one of those turns where you go in about half sideways, which you'd think Blaney would be used to that, but
there is your leader, Geoff Burton. 107 laps to go, and Burton has had the lead since the first 10 here today. He is very stout. 3.5 seconds back to his teammate, Mark Martin, who is second. More to come from the Rock. Stick with us.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know they had metal bleachers. That is one cold race right there. That February race in Rockingham, they finally moved it. I've been there with icicles hanging off the trucks. I've been there in the snow.
A couple of seconds, 2-3 seconds. What do you think, buddy?
But it's stabilized right now.
But if you look at people in the bleachers, this is like a Saturday afternoon. They're bundled up. I bet those metal bleachers are cold as hell.
Tony Stewart still hanging on the third there. Really doing a great job.
watch this, Sue.
In Massachusetts, we used to take blankets all the time. We always would lay a thick layer of blankets down.
Here's your leader, Burton, alongside Joe Bessie.
No joke, like Seekonk, Massachusetts was made of concrete. It was called the Cement Palace. And it was right on the seacoast of Massachusetts. Like you'd cross Providence, Rhode Island, the bay, to get to Seekonk. And I'll tell you what, you don't know cold at a racetrack till you go in there. Seekonk had some cold nights.
Richard's cars always come on late and run good in the long run.
I remember just freezing so bad. We even had snowsuits. We were snowsuits. Snowmobiles.
Back on lap 5, and they have spent a lot of time in the backstretch pits, as Steve Burns showed you earlier, cutting the front off that car and making it race-worthy again. As we watch Mark Martin try to work his way up toward the leader, his teammate Geoff
At
Burton.
the other
This is
extreme,
what
the
had Buddy
most.
and DW excited a moment ago down in
The
3.
hottest track I've ever
he's
been
in trouble. You
to
can see
was
him steering
Phoenix
right there.
and Darlington.
Elton Sawyer in the
The
38
two
there had to
races
say,
that I
"Don't
happened to
do
hit
it."
were
Great
really,
save,
really
though.
It really was. I'll tell you something, buddy. Tony Stewart has impressed me doing something. He said he was going to follow Mark Martin and learn from Mark Martin, and he has done it. Mark's moving up the racetrack a little bit, and Tony still got that left front wheel right on that white line. He saw that pays off. That's going to be big for him later on. We're riding with Matt Hutter now, and he's having a pretty good run himself.
Thinking about what Tony Stewart did here last fall, if you remember, we were here last October, qualified second, ran 9th, but kind of backed up throughout the course of the afternoon. Is he starting to learn some patience in these cars?
Well, here's the difference. Look at the car he's driving. He's got Terry Labonte, Bobby Labonte, Bob Labonte, all of Joe Gibbs's people, Jimmy Maycart. I mean, you know, he's got a pretty good staff on hand to help him get that thing like it needs to be.
Do you think? These guys have won a lot of races, those Bonnie boys in the Grand National Division.
If we take a look a little further back, and we will in a moment, Mike McLaughlin is on the move. He has come around Robert Presley and taken over 4th. We look back a little further in the field. There's McLaughlin. You got a glimpse of the white fender there. There's Martin down into 1. McLaughlin has moved up to 4th spot.
The blue and white number 34, and he is doing a great job. McLaughlin's got good temperament for this type of racetrack. They call him Magic Shoes, for goodness sake. So that means
Got one up against the wall, and I don't know if he hit it or not.
First time I met
That's like
Presley,
Larry
isn't it?
Pearson.
Mike McLaughlin in person, like, we were in the pits at Oxford, Maine. I remember it was after a race or something. That
with a good run going up to 4th today.
there was a group standing there chatting. It was Mike McLaughlin, my father, Bob Baer, the owner of the Speedway, and probably George Summers, I want to say. All chit chat.
Working his way along.
I mean, and I was like a teenager, so I was just in the room, you know. But it was, you know, I was just in the pits. But it was a good thing to witness.
Sunshine, much like yesterday during Bud Bowl qualifying, the cloud cover has started to work in just a little bit here. We're on the backstretch. Kevin Schwantz up to the wall. Robert Presley comes on to pit road. Kevin Schwantz almost got into the fence as Randy LaJoy works by him. Presley down on pit road. They're going to change right side tires. DW, you may be right. He may have been one of the cars that was up toward the wall, if not in it there. We don't see any body damage.
It was him.
Yeah, he didn't hit the wall, but he got up there next to it. I think he's got a tire down.
Let's bring it in. Take a look at Schwantz's difficulty here a moment ago, too.
Well, he's up in the loose stuff. You see the dust coming off the back of the car there. You see the back fishtail a little bit. Very lucky not to get into the wall.
And that's just a byproduct of worn out tires is what it is. These guys run hard after these restarts. Try to stay on the lead lap. Knock the tires right off of them.
Schwantz with a good top 10 run last week at Daytona. He's going to bring the 88 car down on the pit road for some tires. The former world superbike champion, an absolutely fearless driver. Geoff Burton is still out in front in car number 9 with 88 laps remaining. Burton sitting on a lead of about 3 seconds over his teammate, Mark Martin. We'll be back with more North Carolina Speedway. Keep it here on TNN. Back to Rockingham, North Carolina. We're under caution for the 3rd time today. There's your leader, Geoff Burton, and here, we think, is why the yellow has flown. Buckshot Jones with heavy damage to the left front corner of the Bear.
Toyota has 3 NASCAR Cup teams. 2311, owned by these two, but this guy actually races for his team. And they both share the track with the team owned by, this guy. 3 teams, 4 legends, all going after one cup. Now you're up to speed. You in?
Pontiac, the 00 car.
I believe that happened when he was trying to, there was a 51 car tried to turn down pit lane right back here in the middle of 3 and 4, and these guys run up on him. I believe that's when that happened.
They're going to have to cut some of that away. You see that one piece of metal there on Buckshot's car right near the driver's compartment. We don't want that to swing up, maybe get into the driver itself.
But you know, looking at
I'm
the
looking
car,
at
the
the
damage
list of
is the
this
fender
race
area, but his
entries.
phallus and his nose and all are still there, so he may not be that bad off.
and seeing who owns
Leaders
what
down
car.
on pit road. Opportunity to stop with 115 laps complete. We've got 82 remaining. And here are your 3 leaders. The 9 is your leader. Mark Martin in the 60 is second. Tony Stewart in the 44 is third. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
And Jeff Burton brings the track gear Taurus in. Well, that's hard to say. They're going to go with 4-tire change, fuel. Again, I see no adjustments other than air pressure. I can't imagine them changing this car. They've got Greg Zipadelli changing tires on this thing. You know, he was the crew chief for Mike Stefanik's Busch North car last year, and they reeled off a really fast pit stop a while ago. He is down and away in 21 seconds. Here's Steve.
Glenn, Buckshot Jones has major damage to the left front of the 00 car. He had a great run at Daytona last week, finishing 4th. They want to run for the championship. Ricky Pearson is telling Buckshot to go back out, but they've got some loose sheet metal, and I'm pretty certain they're going to have to come back and clip it off.
Wow, tough break indeed for Buckshot Jones and the Alka-Seltzer Bear Pontiac.
Oh, I remember why that sounds
good runs together here this week at the Rockland. They've got a lot of work to do. We'll be back with more. Welcome back to North Carolina Speedway, Rockingham, North Carolina. There's the owner of the 2 cars that have been dominating the show here today. Jack Roush watching Jeff Burton and Mark Martin run 1-2, but after this round of pit stops, that may change.
Oh, wow.
Time now for our AutoZone Tech Fact. Busch Grand National teams facing some new rule changes for 1998. Glenn Jarrett takes you to the garage area to check them out.
There was a long list that did not qualify for this race.
The only major change in the NASCAR Busch Series cars over the winter were the side panels right here. They have made them straight up and down, just exactly like the Winston Cup car. Now, in years past, this side panel rolled under more like a regular stock car. NASCAR mandated this change to actually take effect for 1999. They gave the teams the option to go ahead and do it, and every one of them did it because it helps the downforce on the car, makes the car drive better, therefore it's a little faster. The reason for doing it was twofold. Number one, to standardize the Busch cars with the Winston Cup cars so that Winston Cup officials could work on Busch cars and vice versa. Also, it helps the driver get a better, truer feel in a Busch car as to exactly what a Winston Cup car is going to feel like when he makes that change.
All right, thank you, Glenn. Brought to you by AutoZone, the more than 1,750 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone for the best parts in auto parts. Here's a look at what happened with the leaders on pit road. Jeff Burton went in as your leader, comes out second. Mark Martin lost a couple of spots, but Glenn Jarrett, Tony Stewart picked up. He's going to lead the pack to green.
Oh, absolutely. He went right to the front of the pack, had a great pit stop. You know, you guys were talking about the guys that helped Tony Stewart get to where he is. Joe Gibbs, Jimmy Makar, Bobby Labonte, Terry Labonte. This man right here, Bryant Frazier, is the active crew chief on race day. Now, Bryant was the crew chief of Steve Grissom when he won the 1993 Busch Series Championship. Bryant knows his way around the race car, too. You can tell. Here's Steve.
Well, Glenn, you talked about Mike McLaughlin having a good run. They came in and absolutely nailed a pit stop, changed 4 tires and got back out. Also talked to Buckshot Jones' crew. They said that Buckshot hit the 51 car of Jim Bound. Bound had blown a tire and basically come to a stop on the racetrack, and we're ready to go green.
Safety car down pit road. Tony Stewart, your restart leader. 77 laps to go. This is the first time that Tony Stewart has led a Busch Series race.
Tony needs to get down into turn 1. Robert Presley went a lap down with the problems he had with the tire. You see him fighting to get that lap back as they head down towards the back straightaway. Right now, he is trying to make up that lap.
Yeah, and he's got a fast car, and he should be very capable of doing that. And now's your best chance when the cars are all bunched up like this.
The 92, Derek Cope, he's got the same idea. You see him looking on the inside, 3 wide down the front straightaway, looking into turn 1.
Tony Stewart hanging on the outside. He is your race leader. Presley, as we mentioned, about to go a lap down. Stewart pushes high. Derek Cope right back there with him, too. Former leader Jeff Burton second, right behind Stewart.
Think about another change in this series, buddy. Last year, the leaders lined up on the inside. This year, they line up on the outside, just like the Winston Cup cars do.
They're trying
you see
to make,
what's happening.
Oh, my. Robert Presley almost crashed there.
Wow. Derek Cope to the inside. He may be the one
He
to
went
get the
for a
shot.
ride,
Stewart.
didn't he?
Stewart takes advantage to gather up
Everybody
about
kind
a
of
5-car
scattered.
lead.
Right now, they're all gathering up. Gathering up their breath.
Mark Martin now and Mike McLaughlin. This is the race for third. Door to door into 3. McLaughlin high. Martin is low. And Martin gets by to reclaim third spot.
Not yet. He's still got to fight down that front straightaway. You see Tony Stewart, though, he's got a new guy there, Derek Cope in the 92, fighting to try to get back in this lead lap, and they have to do that.
I'm going to jump off the camera for a minute
You make up that lap,
and get another
really
cup of coffee.
Yeah, obviously, Cope's got a very fast car. I mean, he's passing the leader of the race. So if he can get back on the lead lap, he's got a chance.
Needs a caution probably to come around and challenge. Stewart in the 44-year leader. Burton in the 9 is second. Presley a lap down in the 59. He's been in the lead group much of the day.
And Mark Martin did get by McLaughlin there. They were fighting that. It looked like McLaughlin had the spot on him, but Mark Martin moved just right out in front of him there.
Down into turn 3, Derek Cope back on the lead lap. He is back in 24th spot. Last car on the lead lap. Here's Burton now challenging Stewart off of 4.
Darrell, you can see it coming. Geoff Burton can run a lower line up off the corner than Stewart. I think he'll get him before too long here.
What I see coming is a huge wreck back there behind them. Golly, if them guys could see behind them, they would drive. No wonder they're driving so fast.
Let's get an update from pit road.
Guys, I got a feeling that Brian Frazier told Tony to let Cope go by because they need to save as much of those tires as they can for that last run to the checkered flag. So he wasn't going to race him too hard right then. Got a battle for the lead.
He didn't tell Geoff Burton anything. Geoff Burton makes the move on the inside there.
Burton has recaptured the point here at Rockingham today. 26 cars were on the lead lap a few moments ago. It's down to about 24 now, but this is a scramble. There's Cope in the 92, just got back on the lead lap. Burton in the 9-year leader, Stewart in the 44. Rides in second. You can see Mark Martin back there in third, and he has closed it right up. Mark Martin is really coming on strong here in the latter stages of this one. Steve Burns, what are they saying out of the Winn-Dixie pits?
Well, Rick, we know one thing for certain. We just talked to the crew. Mark Martin can go the distance on fuel, and they think his tires are good enough to race to the front also.
Mark Martin, of course, the master here at Rockingham in the NASCAR Busch Series. As we told you at the top of the broadcast, he has won 8 of the last 11 Busch Grand National runs here. He, of course, last year captured the career victory record from Jack Ingram with 31 wins.
Now, you want to see the difference in the guys that have cars that can win and the guys that can't. The 92 car passed and took the lead, but now he's falling back, and he was just running off of pure rubber. That's all. The tires on the car. Chassis is now coming into play.
3 wide. Whoa. Mark Green to the inside. Tim Fedewa, Dick Trickle in the battle for 7th, 8th, 9th.
Dick Trickle and Fedewa just about crashed. Dick Trickle went in the corner very, very hard. Got into 33 there of Tim Fedewa. It was a wreck. It never happened. That's all you can say.
Well, poor old Mark Green, he was running 5th when the caution came in. He had a bad pit stop, fell back to 11th. So he's got a pretty good race car.
Phil Parsons with problems in the Duraloop Chevrolet. Looks like, sounds like he's got problems under the hood. He'll come down onto pit road to the attention of the Duraloop crew.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. You can hear metal hitting metal there.
That almost sounds like a tire.
Randy LaJoie to the inside of Dick Trickle to gain a spot. LaJoie was on the move. He had gotten to 10th that last round of pit stops. They lost a couple of spots, but now LaJoie is moving up once again, so give Randy LaJoie 11th spot. Right in front of him is his teammate Tim Fedewa, who is 10th. There is your leader, Geoff Burton, who has opened up a lead again of 1.1 seconds. So Tony Stewart has not been able to stay real close since giving up the lead. Team owner Joe Gibbs watches his young driver ride second at Rockingham. Welcome back to North Carolina Speedway on TNN Motorsports, the GM Goodwrench Service Plus 200 today. Live coverage, our first live NASCAR event of 1998 on TNN. I'm Rick Benjamin, Buddy Baker, Darrell Waltrip, top side here on pit road. Steve Burns and Glenn Jarrett today. And this guy, Geoff Burton, has just put the hurt on him, Buddy Baker.
He has that. It's been smooth for him, but other people in this field hadn't had it that easy today. I tell you, it's been some close calls on several times during the race today where people were in a lot of trouble.
Burton all by himself, stretching the advantage out over Tony Stewart. Here's the 52, one of the 2 Grubb machines. This is Kevin Grubb in the Prestar Bank car, and he has had a difficult afternoon. Look at this off of turn 4, buddy.
You see Grubb's right there. Oh, he gets tagged from behind. Very lucky to hang on to that car. Gets it back under control on the flat part of the shoulder there, the racetrack. Wow, was he lucky.
Good thing this is a tri-oval, because he needed all that room to get that thing back under control.
There's the car he almost tangled with. Brad Loney in the 45. Glenn Allen Jr. back there. Buckshot Jones with problems in the 36 of Matt Hutter. Buckshot Jones had all that damage to the left front corner of the car. Hutter has been skaty in the 36 car. As we watch this group work down the back straightaway, Hutter in the 36 started toward the front today, but has not been able to hang on. He's back in 19th spot on the lead lap. Buckshot Jones back at 21st. Loney has shown 20th, so that's a battle for position back there.
You can see a lot of rubber buildup on the outside of the groove there from the camera angle. When you get in there, it's just like hitting sand, boy. You can really get in the wall in a hurry. A lot of buildup on the outside of the group.
Glenn Allen in the 99, another driver who qualified very well and started up front. He's had a range of problems today, shown back in 31st spot right now.
The way that thing sounded earlier, I'm surprised he's still going.
Yeah.
He's moving along pretty well.
The 5 cars very close together back in the pack, running around 18th, 19th.
Let's go. We know when and we know how. The real question is why. Watch this.
Sounds like a funny movie.
It's just so much.
20th spot. Let's head down to the garage area. Steve Burns.
With Phil Parsons, had a great start at Daytona, finished in the top 10. Phil, what put you out today?
Well, we blew the motor. This is an engine we had left over from last year. Carl Wagner's doing our stuff this year. Undoubtedly, we should have run ahead instead of this one we had left over from last year. But we got behind on the last pit stop, but we passed several cars since the last restart. And I think we were, headed well on our way to another top 10. But it wasn't to be. I just want to thank everybody from Duralube, Honeywell, Goodyear, Chevrolet, all the people that helped us, and try to get them to Vegas.
That's up next time.
As we watch Randy LaJoie work on Dick Trickle down to the outside of turn 1. LaJoie shown 12th. Trickle is 11th. Trickle's machine with some body damage, it looked like, too, buddy, on the way by.
Yeah, he's had contact with Tim Fedewa not long ago and got a little body damage there. They slid into each other. Both of them racing very hard. And right now, the tires are getting really slick. The fuel load's getting down. These cars are beginning to skate just a little bit.
And if you look at the racing surface, it's gotten much darker, which means it's got a lot of rubber and oil on it, too, which just adds to all the problems. Makes it all slicker and slimier and slipping and sliding.
As you said, that Randy LaJoie showed us exactly what we were talking about. The back of his car just took off for the wall.
Here's Mark Martin challenging for second spot now on the inside of Stewart as they race through the tri-oval down to 1, and Martin climbs back into second.
Well, Robert Presley got by Stewart there a moment ago, and then Mark's going by now, so Stewart is backing up a little bit. I tell you, Robert Presley got a fast car, buddy, on these long runs. He moves right on up through there right nicely.
Yeah, he must have had a tire problem earlier and got a lap down, but he's been consistently one of the top 3 cars in the last 100 laps.
Yep. Presley very strong, up to 23rd now after going a lap down earlier. He had run up in the top 4 early in the show here today. There's Stewart backing up a little more now to Mark Martin. Martin still with 2.3 seconds to gain on his teammate Burton, who has led most of the way here today. Martin, uncharacteristically for him here, is sitting second.
You can see a contrast of lines between the first 2 cars. Right now, a lot of the cars are running around the base of the racetrack, which Mark Martin's famous for. His teammates running a little bit higher, which is the best we'll see later on in this run.
Well, I'm sorry, Rich.
Go ahead. Tell us what you wanted to tell.
No, it just saves the tires a little bit. If you're fast, the car's handling good, he can move up the track a little bit. It's easier on the tires. So that's maybe be all. He's just conserving a little.
A couple of guys who had good runs going today. The 17 of Matt Kenseth. He is 5th, chasing Mike McLaughlin in the 34, who is 4th. And Kenseth turning in another good ride. Steve Burns.
Mike's son, Max drives now. Max McLaughlin, and I think he does dirt racing. If you Google his name, you'll see some of his stuff. And also Landon Huffman, I think on Huffman Racing Radio, did a podcast with him that's on the Huffman Racing YouTube channel.
This kid has really come on strong. I think he's going to have an opportunity to win a race before this year's over.
Second generation's driving now.
Last season when he came on board partway through the 1997 campaign, certainly showed everybody a lot at Daytona last week.
I like his car number.
Do you?
Yeah.
I thought he borrowed that from you.
Well, not exactly.
It is a number to pay close attention to, certainly, for all of us. Matt Kenseth riding along nicely in 5th spot. Here's your leader, the 9 car, Geoff Burton, coming up on 150 laps on the board in a couple of moments. Everybody just waiting and watching to see if they'll be needed the rest of the day. We'll be back at the Rock.
And we're back at Rockingham. The cars are in the pits after a caution flag. Big problems for Geoff Burton. They had a great pit stop going when they got around to the left rear. Something happened. They couldn't get the left rear off. He lost about 5 spots. He came out. Tony Stewart beat everybody out. Geoff Burton lost 4 or 5 positions.
Well, there is Burton back up on the speedway. We saw a tire had gotten loose there down on the apron coming off of pit road as well. Somebody will have to go retrieve that as we take a look at Mark Martin, who should be able to restart in second spot behind Stewart. We're going to show you how the caution came out here a few moments ago, just as we were going away to commercial. Trouble for Brad Loney in the 45 car up in turn 3.
Yeah, if you to back this up a little bit for that white car on the down on the bottom of the racetrack there, he was coasting into turn 3, and Loney here on the outside clipped him as they went down into turn 3, or whichever way it went. I couldn't tell.
The car on the bottom there was Hank Parker Jr., the white car.
And it looked like Parker had gotten into the wall maybe off at 2. It slowed, and 45 clipped him going into turn 3.
Steve Burns, does this set up Mark Martin for another run to the front?
Well, it could, but I'll tell you who had the best pit stop down here, and that is the 17 of Matt Kenseth. When he dropped off the jacks and popped the clutch out, his team was high-fiving, jumping up and down. Kenseth goes out in the 3rd position. They just crushed their pit stop. Mark Martin on the scoring monitor we see is 6th.
Let's give a call to Elliott Sadler's group there. The number 66 has also moved up there just in front of Kenseth.
152 laps on the board. There'll be 45 to go next time around, and this could be a dandy. Stewart will be your restart leader. Sadler, Kenseth, and Geoff Purvis will be the first 4 when we come back for the restart. 43 laps remaining at the Rock on Saturday. Great to have you with us on TNN Motorsports for the 50th anniversary season of NASCAR, the NASCAR Busch Series. Tony Stewart will lead us back to the green flag for the restart.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be real exciting right here, buddy.
It already is. They're 3 wide getting into 1 there.
We're going to Vegas next week, and, buddy, we just got dealt a whole new hand of cards right here. So there's a bunch of players that haven't been in this play here before.
Tony Stewart better make it count right now. He's out in front right now. Blaze Alexander's holding up a little bit, Elliott Sadler as they come off.
Good morning again.
Look back in the pack here, though. You think
I'm a little chill at this time of day. We're working on coffee number 2, so we'll see if we can get some energy.
On board with Mike Stefanik. Earlier, a look with Shane Hall as he rides back in the
It'd be good
back.
to do an early stream and then get in a walk or a swim because I haven't exercised in a week.
Down into 3, your leader is Stewart.
Elliott Sadler in the 2nd place there, the 66 car running very, very well. If anything, he's catching Stewart just a little bit every lap.
Elliott Sadler very, very strong late in the going. Steve Burns, are they happy down on pit road?
Yeah, you bet, Rick. We heard crew chief Sandy Jones say that the longer they run, the better they are. So if he's not real close right now, chances are he will be closer towards the end.
Boy, he is dogging Stewart hard as they come out onto the main straightaway.
Yesterday with Dad and Mom. Went with Dad to coffee and
Roush cars did
coffee
not
with the
fare
racers.
well in that last round of pit stops. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Guys, in addition to what Steve Burns reported on Elliott Sadler, they have been adjusting the track bar on that car all day. They adjusted it to 2 more rounds that time. They finally may have it to where Elliott wants it. Man, he is flying. In the meanwhile, you're talking about Geoff Burton.
A former driver.
They're just telling him to take it easy, save a little bit for the end, but he doesn't have a whole lot of time.
At the moment, sitting in 6th spot. Martin, his teammate, who has been such a dominating force here in NASCAR Busch Series competition. 1 spot ahead. There's the 60. Martin right now in 5th. Burton is 6th. Directly in front of them.
The group gets bigger. There's 5 of us,
as well. We'll show you a little bit further back. Look at the scramble.
One modified driver usually was there. He wasn't attending. And a few are still up in
12th, 13th, and 14th. Looks like
New
3
England.
wide, maybe coming off 2. We ride with Randy LaJoie.
That's why there's
snowbirds. They come down in a few.
Auto racing. They're racing as hard as the leaders. Every bit as hard.
Maybe
right
sooner
now,
with the
moving up a spot in the national point standings means a lot to these guys.
Race coming to town this
strong
week.
today.
They might
He's
be
riding
done.
12th right now. Randy LaJoie and Dick Trickle. They've been together
But I
on
got
the
to
racetrack
get
most
that
of the way.
his list
Fighting for
of
12th and 13th behind
drivers
Junior.
and years that he worked for, and he's able to make notes because he's going to go on a radio show in a couple of weeks. It'll be live on a Friday at noon is when they broadcast their show live, and it's on YouTube. I'll try to go live for that. I'll be there, but I'll try to go live like just briefly before the show, and then I'll just give you
car
the
with a
link to the
Winn-Dixie
show.
Ford right in front of him. Jeff Burton has got
It's not,
by now, so
you
they've
know,
swapped
like
spots.
a private link.
Burton is
It's
fifth,
just
right
a link
behind
to get you
McLaughlin,
the
who's
reason.
fourth.
Jeff Burton's car working well on the high side of the racetrack, low side. You can see Mark close up just a little bit. These cars that they come to now are harder to pass than when he was starting back way back. He's up there with cars that are running.
My
very,
dad will
very
be
well
working
now.
with that Feedowa Team 33. I'm not sure if he started off in the beginning of the year or not.
Makes me feel good when I see a car handle
But
like, yeah. Makes me want to get out there and drive.
Burton to the inside.
when I was getting my coffee, I saw they were showing the car, but I can't quite reach with my headphone cord to the coffee pot, so I took it off and I didn't hear what they were saying when they were showing the 33.
Look right back on the bottom,
But
trying to get that edge coming up.
they're gonna have a good year.
Down the straightaway with
They're gonna have
McLaughlin
2
on the
wins
outside.
this year.
McLaughlin and the team
I was at
34
one of them
Chevrolet, the
in
Boots
person,
Muscle car.
to
They
be honest.
legitimately believe they
A
have
race
chance
in May.
at the Busch Series
So
crown
in a
this
few
year,
weeks,
taking it away. They
few
think they can
broadcasts
from
I'll
Randy
be
LaJoy,
doing
but
that.
McLaughlin needs to move and needs to get close to
And
the
I'll
front here
be
this
there.
afternoon.
But
He gets
I
by
don't
him
think I'm
from
on
fifth.
camera.
Further back, there's been a lot of contact back here. It's back around 14th, 15th
But I love that
spot.
track now.
A lot
It's
of
like there's
activity
such
back
a
there.
Yeah, Buckshot there in the 00. Now, he's already lost one finger.
such a soft spot in my heart
He
for
only got one
Nashville.
bullet left.
On board
Yes,
with Matt
that-
Hunter in the Stanley Tools Pontiac, the 36 car, being shown back in 21st spot. Tim Feedowa right in front of him. He's 19th. Got Casey Atwood in that mix too, the youngster, the 17-year-old from Nashville. In car number 28, doing a nice job running in the top 20 right now on the lead lap. So a very strong first outing for Casey Atwood as we got a look at his machine there a moment ago.
What he's learning most about is experience around the racetrack. That'll pay off in years to come. A 20th place finish will be wonderful, but what he's learned today, you can't put a value on that.
Robert Presley now with Shane Hall trying to get by. Presley, we documented how he had run up front early, had problems. He's very fast, but he is not yet up with the lead group. Trying to get back and has gotten back on the lead
pull
lap.
down.
Uh-oh.
I see Casey Atwood. He's eating a sandwich there down the front straightaway.
There's Atwood and Hutter. There's a bunch of rookies right there.
Shane Hall, the young guns, really working hard here today to pile up that experience and not pile up in the process. There's Andy Santerre off of turn 2. He has struggled today and has fought back. He is quick at the moment.
I'm looking for it.
Andy Santerre in the 47, running 25th. Laps winding down, coming up on 170 on the board. There'll be 27 to go. Your leader, Tony Stewart. He has been very strong. Glenn Jarrett, what do they think down on pit road?
Well, Rick, Joe Gibbs owns this car now. He bought this team from Bobby Bodine at the end of last year. And Joe just came to me and said all that trouble, all that traffic that Jeff's in is exactly what they want. They told Tony he needs to get as far ahead as he can. Burton has been about a 1/10 of a second quicker all day. But we're clocking it right now. And Tony is actually adding to the lead right now. Jeff Burton is Stewart, as I told you at the top of the show, this is only his 16th start. He's looking good for the win right now if he can hang on.
Daryl, as you well know, you've dominated races here. Once you get out in clean air and you're running the racetrack the perfect line around, there's a big difference in how you drive the racetrack. Tony Stewart's proven by himself he's as good as anyone.
This is a track where you can slow down and go faster. Back off early, get back on it sooner. And you have the luxury of doing that when you're in the front. You don't have to charge the corner. So that even makes you pick up speed, and you say, I'm backing off, but you're going faster. And that's the way this racetrack is, and that's what's working for Tony right now.
25 laps to go. Your race leader is Tony Stewart in the Shell Pontiac. His best career finish in the NASCAR Busch Series, a third last October at Charlotte. Maybe his first win will come today. We'll find out. Back at North Carolina Speedway in Rockingham, North Carolina. Beautiful Saturday afternoon for NASCAR action on TNN Motorsports. The GM Goodwrench Service Plus 200. The NASCAR Busch Series second race in 1998. Tony Stewart making just his 16th career start today, and maybe his first win.
Mark just blew back by his teammate there, the 9 car. I don't know if something's happened to the 9 car. Let me tell you, Tony Stewart's got a comfortable lead here. If there's a rep on that kid, as far as I'm concerned, I've seen him blow it in the last 4 or 5 laps of a lot of races. I'm anxious to see if he can pull this thing off.
The one thing I'm concerned about, Tony Stewart has no racetrack and proven he's very fast out there by himself, but lap traffic is going to be a lead factor before this thing goes.
Yeah, and look at Roush and Roush's 2 cars racing each other. Now Mark just pulled over and let Geoff go back by.
Glenn Jarrett, what's going on down there on the Roush pits?
Well, one thing, Rick, is Geoff Burton has reported, as I said a while ago, his car's pretty tight. And I think what they were trying to do was to see if running nose to tail together would make them any quicker. It didn't make any difference, so they just let Mark pulled over and just let Geoff go back by. But Geoff's car a little too tight right now to make a run at Tony.
Yeah. Mark's car is actually better than Geoff's now. I think he's drove the wheels off of it. What's wrong with it?
You see Elliott Sadler in the 66. He's running third. These 2 cars, the 2 Roush machines, are 4th and 5th. Geoff Burton has been the dominant car here.
Yeah, Stewart's pulling away a little now.
Here comes Mark Martin on the bottom side again. They're going at it, man. I'm going to tell you right now, I think what they're doing flip-flopping to see who is the quickest now in traffic.
Yeah, well, Mark's quicker. I can see it. Mark can run the bottom now, and Burton can. And so I think that's making Burton's car, or Mark's car, a little quicker.
If one of those 2 Fords is going to have a shot at Tony Stewart, they need to show it darn quickly because we're coming down 15 to go. And Tony Stewart is working on a 1.7-second lead. The driver to watch, perhaps, is Matt Kenseth. We're going to take you back a little further up the field. There's your 3rd place car, Sadler. Here's your leader, Stewart, now. And we'll show you back the lead he has built over Matt Kenseth, who is really a great story in his own right. There's Kenseth about 15 car lengths back.
You can't say too much about that kid. He's running second.
Rick, I got to tell you that Matt Kenseth is actually catching Tony Stewart. He's pulled it down to about a 15-car length lead right now. And if anybody's making a move towards the front, it is the Matt Kenseth car. Here comes Mark trying to get by the 66 of Elliott Sadler also.
Now, Mark's got that. He's got his car working right on the bottom, and he's picked up some speed here.
Elliott Sadler started 13th today, has come to 2nd. He may not, or 3rd rather, and he may not be able to hang on to it for much longer. Martin pressuring him hard, and Martin swings it low into 3, but Elliott says, hey, I'm not giving up.
Yeah, he's pretty much jumped now. As they start off the corner, though, you can see the outside gets a little bit better run.
The thing about it is you got to give Sadler some credit. Where did he come from? Up until the last pit stop, I don't think we'd call his name, so he did a whale of a job to get up there and be in contention.
Steve Burns described it, that team, the Gary Bechtel Diamond Ridge group, they crushed their last pit stop and got Sadler out very quickly. He gained a lot of spots on pit road, but he's lost 2 here on the racetrack just in the last couple of seconds.
Well, car number 17 and Mr. Kenseth is closing down on the lead right now. He's doing it a little wee bit at a time.
There's the gap between 1st and 2nd on the left of your screen. Tony Stewart in the Joe Gibbs Pontiac off of 2. And behind him, Matt Kenseth and Robbie Reiser's Chevrolet in 2nd spot. Talk about a difference between resources and the number of people you have helping you, too. That's quite a contrast.
With 12 laps to go, Kenseth is actually closing in, and now the lap traffic is going to be a problem. You can see the leaders now getting very close to lap traffic.
Stewart, we've told you, making just his 16th Busch Grand National start. For Matt Kenseth, this is only his 24th start today, but he had a couple of top 5s when he jumped into this 17 car last year, including a 3rd in California in 1997. A driver obviously of great promise. We told you at the top of the broadcast about all the young guys who are really starting to make a mark, and Kenseth is one.
In that one lap, he cut that lead in half.
Wow.
He will be there in about 2 more laps.
You can remember just a couple of years ago, Robbie Reiser, the car owner, was the driver in this car, and he thought so much of Matt Kenseth, he got out of the driver's seat and said, I'll be the Prince man for you. It's paying off today.
It's kind of like a Childress Earnhardt story, you know, where Childress gets out of the car and says, I believe this is the guy of the future. So this could really pay off big today.
They're going to put 189 laps on the board this time by. There will be 8 to go. Stewart has 8 laps remaining. Counting down. He has had an incredible early season. You know the story. The 1997 IRL champion won the season opener in January down at Disney World.
Rick, it's down to 10 car lengths now. Tony Stewart really fighting the car down on the bottom. Very good handling car. Reiser's closing in.
2 of the young stars we talked about at the top of the broadcast today. As Darrell, as you've said so many times, getting there is one thing, getting by is something else.
I was thinking the same thing. He's got to catch him, but I don't know if he can pass him or not.
That last picture you were looking at, that was Joe Gibbs, the car owner of the 44 car there, of Tony Stewart. He's watching him like a play off the line.
Yeah, and here's what's going to happen. Look ahead of the leader. Must be about 8-10 cars are coming up on here real quick. And that's going to be a big factor.
A moment ago, we showed you a battle a little further back for fifth. Elliott Sadler and Mike McLaughlin. What's the situation in Elliott Sadler's pit, Steve Burns?
Well, in that last pit stop, we said that they were going to be better on a longer run. They made a track bar adjustment, as Glenn Jarrett said, but our speculation is wrong. He has actually become very, very tight to where he can't turn the car.
There'll be 5 laps to go for your leader as they come out of turn 4. 5 to go, Buddy Baker.
Darrell, he's got his work cut out for him. Tony Stewart's going to be in this lap traffic. You can see they're side by side. Tony Stewart's going to have to back off. That's going to bring Robbie Reiser right up on his back bumper.
Boy, if Reiser times it right, Stewart's out of the gas. He's in the gas. He goes right by.
Stewart to the inside. He'll use Shane Hall as a cover car down into 3. Look at Kenseth at the 17. That's the battle for the lead. 4 to go as they come off of 4.
Less than the car left down the front straightaway. Reiser looks to the outside. They're in heavy traffic going into turn 1.
Kenseth just biding his time for the moment as they race into 1. Stewart a lane high. He's got a lap car in front of him. Jason Jarrett moves over, lets the leaders through.
I know the 33 finishes P18, the same position they started in.
I'm running well on the lower side. The lap car backed off and let Rob.
I was looking for the photo that I had
Stewart's a little quicker down the straightaway, right?
of the bumper.
That may be the difference. 3 and get under him off one of these corners. He might be able to get him, but it's going to be awfully hard to do.
When I was at my sister's one day, I took a
Really, right
picture
now,
of it.
one mistake, and you're back.
I
in
wanted
second
to
place
see
with Tony
if
Stewart.
it was
I saw a commercial the other day for Pontiac.
what
said
race.
wider's better.
I know it's got a little thing in the
Here comes Kenseth.
left-hand corner. Like I said, a little tear where the fiberglass is split.
And he's cutting him off just a little bit,
But I don't know if it's from a race win or if it's from a random race. I don't know. Good morning, Jack.
You can see that's 17.
I hope you have a wonderful day, too. I'm going to do a pretty short stream. I'm just going to do one more race after this. Pretty tired today. Spent most of the day with my dad, so I was out and about more than usual.
Joe Gibbs taking a look. Stewart with a 2-car length advantage down the back straightaway. The IRL champion, his 16th career Busch Grand National start.
I'll
Just
stop
joined
in
this
over
team a
at
year
your
ago. This
stream.
could be his first win.
Look at this. He gives him a little assistance there.
He's got it. To the inside. He's going to get him. He's going to get him.
Oh, yeah. I woke up at 4 a.m. and
Robbie Reiser's team with no sponsor on the back quarter panel other than a thank
wow.
you to Leftos for last week.
Look at
Takes
that
his
win.
first Grand National victory.
What a race. Man, that was beautiful.
Here's a battle a little further back in the pack for 15th, and Buckshot Jones may have taken that spot.
Buddy, did I tell you what a great driver I thought that kid was?
yeah.
He just touched
It's
him enough
about
to get him offline a little
6
bit.
a.m. now.
Hey, that's hard racing.
I
That
saw
is not.
Jeff Gordon do that to Rusty Wallace there at
Second
Bristol,
cup of
ladder
coffee.
lap.
That is a case of one
Oh,
win
wow.
right there, boy.
Well, you lucky you
telling you, that
needed
was
your
exciting.
beauty
There's Jack
rest.
Roush giving him a thumbs up. Jack Roush's group helping Matt Kenseth and that team a little bit now, and very pleased Jack Roush is to see a driver he's got high hopes for come to victory lane.
Yes, Jack's happy. 17-1, I'm happy.
Holy mackerel, this is a strong cup of coffee.
It could very well be.
See, I was
Matt
impatient.
Kenseth,
I
a
didn't
very
wait for it all
excited young
to
man for
drip
Tony
down in
Stewart,
the
who has won so
percolator.
much in his young
And I
career.
poured it out.
A disappointment,
Now
but
this
you know,
one's
he'll be back
extra
and he'll have
strong.
many more days of glory in NASCAR racing in
But
the days
that's
to come.
good.
For Matt Kenseth, his first win.
Uh-oh,
Steve
what's
Burns
this?
on pit road.
Here we
And
go.
with Robbie Reiser, here comes the donuts. Robbie, how do you feel?
I'm pretty excited. Like I said, you know, this is a family race team, and you can see Matt, he's pretty excited. Both of us are from Wisconsin. Got our chance to come down here, and I used to race against Matt, and putting a combination together with him driving and Reiser Enterprise team working together. We finally made it here. We've been working our tails off. This is pretty exciting.
Robbie, I saw you in the motel this morning. Did you think at 6 o'clock this morning you could win this race?
Well, to tell you the truth,
Yes.
me and Matt have talked, you know, me and Matt have a really good communication, and last night he didn't really
I'm not
feel that
as
comfortable
chatty
with the car,
in the early
and I
morning.
could see it on his face, you know, and the more we talked about it,
Gathering
the more
my
he wasn't quite sure. And came in this morning
brains.
and changed 3 springs and changed a couple things on the car, and boy, in the long run, I mean, it wasn't that great on the you know, when we first started on new tires, but the more we ran, the better the car got, and towards the end there, I kept telling him, you know, stay calm, conserve your tires. it's going to come to you. All of a sudden, we started, you know, towards the end, we got to be 2-3 tenths faster, and here we are.
Well, it's a great story, and guys, they lost their sponsor right before they got to Daytona, had the cars all painted. What a success story, Robbie Reiser.
Yeah.
Unbelievable finish to today's GM Goodwrench Service Plus 200 here at the Rock. What a way to end our first live broadcast of NASCAR competition in 1998.
Motorsports so
Take one
fun.
more look at how the 17 car and Matt Kenseth got the win. Coming out of turn 4, just a little contact with Tony Stewart, enough to get underneath and come to the line and steal the victory. Matt Kenseth, your winner at the Rock. We'll come back and talk to the young driver in victory lane. Welcome back to the Rock. Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen a young driver just win his first NASCAR event.
Let's go. We know when and we know how. The real question is why. Watch this.
As loud for early morning. And I watch race cars.
And up on top of the car, Matt Kenseth. I tell you, folks, the motion's running very high down here. The Gatorade falls off. I think Jack Roush on his way. Come on down here, Matt. Congratulations, man. What a great, exciting race. What a finish. Tell us about that last lap.
I tell you what, Glenn, Tony's a great racer. Hats off to Tony. Got a little touch of go there at the end, man, but we need to win the race. We don't have a sponsor in the car. We're looking for a full-time sponsor. Riser Enterprise, they're the best, boy, man. They're an awesome race team. Got a little touch and go off there, too. A couple lap cars got in the way. I had him beat there, and he pitched me off with the lap car. And I just nudged him a little off forward, but hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
We asked the question of car Robbie Reiser just a moment ago, Matt. We're going to ask you the same question now. Going into the race this morning, you knew you had a good car, but did you think it was good enough to win?
Heck no. I thank Jack Roush and Robbie Reiser and everybody for all the support and technical support they've been giving me. They made some great decisions on the car this morning. The thing was flawless all day long.
I want to bring Jack into the picture right now. Jack, we've already commented that you're giving some help to Matt. And tell us your thoughts on this young man. What a job.
Well, it was all in Mark's say-so. You know, somehow Mark felt that he had gone through the same kind of a process that he had, and said that when he was Matt's age, he was able to do or wished he could do what Matt could do, and that we should give him a chance. So we've been trying to help. We haven't helped as much as his team has, but we've done all we could.
I'm going to ask Matt one more question now. You're going to get calm down here a little bit. You're going to talk to the crew, then going to celebrate a little tonight.
Oh, probably, man. We just kill our pit stops. The guys have worked so hard all winter on our pit stops, and me and Rob have been going to the gym every day to get in shape, and we thought we had all the bases covered when we came in this year to try to seriously run for the championship. And Robbie Reiser, my team owner, crew chief's the greatest. He believed in me and stayed with me. There was a lot of drivers that had sponsors with them that wanted to drive this car, but Robbie believed in me, and it's paid off.
You made everybody a believer now, Matt. Congratulations again. Go celebrate, man.
One of those rare NASCAR drivers you'll see with nothing on his uniform. They are in search of a full-time sponsor. This is the last lap. What a battle. Stewart in the 44-year leader. And here's Kenseth with 1 to go as they come down the backstretch.
With 1 to go, he served notice it's going to happen again pretty soon. I need to win badly. They head off in the corner. Stewart's fighting hard on the outside there. Kenseth looked like he had him pretty much underhand there, but he didn't. You see on the outside there, the 44 Stewart going back into the lead. But coming off the last corner, hey, he wanted to win bad.
DW commented on last year's race at Bristol in the Winston Cup Series when Jeff Gordon kind of moved Rusty Wallace out of the way with a similar move. It does work coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, he just touched him enough to get him offline. It was not anything intentional to create any problem, just enough to move him.
Young driver who gave a great accounting of himself today comes home second. He's with Steve Burns.
Tony, an exciting race. Unfortunately, you were second. Matt Kenseth first. Describe that last lap.
Well, you know, just went into 3 and 4 like we had for 196 laps, and on the exit off of 4, he got in the left rear and got us loose to where I had to get out of the gas for a second. That's all he needed to get by.
Great race.
Yeah, thanks.
There is a driver who does not take finishing second very lightly. There's the move Kenseth made coming off of turn 4 to swing underneath Tony Stewart and come to the line and beat him. Matt Kenseth, your winner at the Rock. What a terrific start to our live coverage this year of NASCAR action here on TNN Motorsports. Back to tell you more of the stories of today's upfront finishers when we return. Welcome back to Rockingham. A reminder, you can check out NASCAR online before, during, and after the race at www.nascar.com. Your 24-hour NASCAR Garage Pass, all the information you need. Full coverage, of course, of today's GM Goodwrench Service Plus 200 here at the Rock for the NASCAR Busch Series, and tomorrow's GM Goodwrench Service Plus 400, which we'll be bringing you live on TNN Motorsports. And don't forget, you can also race into the all-new and official store of NASCAR. Visit NASCAR Thunder, now open in cities everywhere. For locations and information, there's the phone number, 615-883-7000, Monday through Friday. Quite an afternoon of action. The NASCAR Winston Cup stars ready to come out for happy hour. But before we look at that, let's talk to the driver who finished 5th today, Steve Burns.
And Mike McLaughlin, the highest finishing Busch Series regular. Mike, you had a tough start at Daytona, but a good run today.
We had a good day. We were consistent. We were a little bit better on the long run. Needed to be a little bit better quicker, but happy for everybody that supports Gould's Pumps, all the dealers and distributors. They make this program what it is. Without the opportunity, I wouldn't be here. And I want to say hello to my family. Our aunt passed away, and love you.
Mike, I know you guys really want to make a run for the championship. You wanted to win the race, but this is the type of finish to win the championship.
You have to finish. That's where Randy and Todd were both really consistent with their finishes last year, and they kind of pulled away from everybody in the points chase. We know we have to do that, but at the same time, we want to win races. You know, if we can continue to improve each week, get a little faster, but keep that consistency, hopefully we'll give Randy a run for his money.
All right, thanks. Let's go now to Glenn Jarrett.
And I'm standing by with Randy. That's Randy LaJoie. He started 37th, I'm sorry, and finished 7th. Pretty good run. You got to be pretty well satisfied with that. And these guys are talking about taking that championship from you. It's yours until somebody else gets it.
Absolutely. Good race for those guys. I mean, they're going to be tough. They're going to be real tough. You know, the worst thing that didn't work in our favor today, they took our pit. You know, they used to have the top 10 in the Busch points pick first before everybody qualified. And that backstretch pit just killed us today. I mean, the crew did a great job. I drove my tail off, and, you know, just track position. I mean, I raced with those guys at different periods of the day, but when it counted, we had to come out of the pits from the backstretch, and we just couldn't get to them. But it was a good day for the Phoenix Chevrolet Monte Carlo, and I'll drink some Kool-Aid because I kind of wore myself out, and we'll go to Vegas.
A question for you, Randy, talking about that qualifying procedure now. Will that make you guys, since you don't have that guaranteed #1 spot, will that make you guys concentrate that much more on qualifying now rather than on race setup?
God, I sure do hope so. Because I mean, it hurt us today. It killed us today. And we're going to have to pick our packages up. You know, we never really put an emphasis on qualifying. We always come out here and did long runs and tried to get the car as good as we can for the race. But we're going to have to give up some of this race deal so we can get on that front stretch and get a good pit stop, because we did the best we could. I mean, from 37th to 7th. I mean, we had a good day.
He did have a good day. It's a hard day's work. We'll let him get a little more refreshment now. And as he always likes to remind us, he's taking tomorrow off. Here's Steve Burns.
And with Elliott Sadler. Elliott, you ran as high as 2nd, then you guys made an adjustment on the last pit stop. What happened? You went backwards.
Well, I think those last set of good years we had on was just a little bit too tight, probably a tighter set than we'd had all day, and the car gave away on us at the end. But man, this feels like a victory for us. We've always struggled at this racetrack, and after the bad luck we had last week at Daytona, it seemed like nothing was going our way. And then to come to Rockingham, qualifying the top 5, running the top 5 all day, and finish with a 6th-place finish, feels like a victory for the whole Phillips 66 team. And we got also 2 awesome racetracks coming up here for us, and we need as much help as we can get, as many top 10s we can, to try to keep up with Randy and see if we can get ourselves back in the points race.
Elliott, we just talked to Mike McLaughlin. This is the kind of race to win the championship. You've got to have those consistent top 10 finishes.
Exactly right. You know, it's hard to come to these racetracks and win. I'm glad to see Matt Kenseth get his first win, but it's tough to win against Mark Martin and Geoff Burton and a lot of those Cup guys. So to be able to come here and come away with a top 10 finish in the car in one piece and get ready for that long road trip to Vegas, we feel like it's a victory. And our guys had awesome pit stops. They've been working on that a lot, and it paid off today.
Nice run, cool shades.
Thank you. Thank you.
Elliott Sadler recalling that last year his teammate at Diamond Ridge, Jeff Green, won the Busch Series event at Las Vegas. 2 races complete, point lead tie between Matt Kenseth and Mark Martin. Now, Mark will not run the entire series, so Kenseth really with a 29-point lead over Randy LaJoie, Buckshot Jones, and Jeff Purvis the rest of the first 5. And Jeff Purvis should be able to compete the season long as well. Mark Green, another driver who put together a nice run today. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
And I was talking to Mark Green here. He's asking me about my family.
Yeah,
I don't know anything
Liz,
about my family.
I
Man, we're going to talk about your family. First of
felt
all,
like
great
getting it
job
in
today. You guys
early.
had a little bit of trouble maybe on a couple of pit stops, but had a good race car.
I
We had a good race car.
spent most of the day with Dad, so I'm pretty tired, but I was thinking it'd be easier to do an early morning stream before I get my day started, rather than in the middle of the day.
Really killed us. No fault of anybody, but
and then I can spend more time riding.
Get back up there. You know, the harder you run, the worse you get. So, ninth place finish is good for us.
It is, Mark. And one thing we were talking about during the telecast, we were commenting on the problem you had there, how well the car was running.
I've been looking in the background in the spit area to see if I can see my father and see what uniform he has on.
You know, I think we can.
Because he's supposed to be working with the Kleenex team this year. Oh, that was Brian Larson that walked by. He worked for Joe for many years. But I think he was with Stewart now.
Kenneth Campbell that came on board this year. And
at this
the sponsors are sticking with us good, Timberwolf, and we just got all the ingredients. We just got to get it dialed in, and we'll be there.
I'm sure they will. Best of luck to you next week in Las Vegas. Thanks for taking time being with us.
And some very strong
coffee. Nice run to ninth today. Ran up in the lead group most of the afternoon. Beautiful afternoon at the Rock. The NASCAR Winston Cup car is ready to come out for happy hour. There's a look at your top 10. We'll be back.
Las Vegas, a city of big money and monumental dreams. A city where all your wishes can come true. Just like motorsports,
I'll do this one tomorrow. Because that's Vegas, and I wanted to do just the Rockingham one today. This one. And Dave W., he's still putting stuff up there, so he's going to support his site info on his YouTube.
Anniversary and is proud to present the 33rd annual GM Goodwrench Service.
I'm not actually working
today live from the North Carolina Motor Speedway
in Motorsports anymore officially. I do go to a couple of races. I think I went to Hickory, and I also for sure went to Nazareth because they won at Nazareth. But this is the same race weekend we just watched, except for the Cup races.
1 week ago, Kenny Wallace and David Green watched the telecast of the Daytona 500 from home. Today, they start second and third. And then there's Pontiac, having won 10 of the last 20 races here. But with new rule changes, what will that mean to Pontiac? Let's start at the top of the list. Those who are pitting on the back straightaway, some huge names in there, Glenn Jarrett, including that of your brother Dale. He's got his work cut out for him today.
Oh, you're exactly right, Eli. They all do. You know, first and second in the Daytona 500 doesn't mean a thing.
New to Toyota Gazoo Racing, there are a lot of unofficial rules. Rules like only pass cars on the left.
It's got the ads too, I didn't know. These here are not skippable, but I don't mind. The Toyota ads are cool. They're kind of epic.
Here at Rockingham, as you've already mentioned, Dale Earnhardt, Bobby Labonte, two of the cars that are back here, along with Dale Jarrett, Derek Cope, Ernie Irvin, Bobby Hamilton, really good race cars back here. The problem they face, when the pace car drops the lead cars off and they go into pits on the front stretch, they have to follow the pace car all the way around the racetrack before they can start down pit road back here. Now, he'll speed up a little bit, maybe as much as 10 miles an hour. That will help him. If they pit under green, that's a much tougher turn, harder, sharper turn coming off the racetrack under speed than it is getting into the pits on the front stretch. They got their work cut out for them back here, but every man to the last one back here believes that they can win from the backstretch. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Well, Glenn, it's Rockingham resurgence for a host of teams who found doom and gloom in Daytona. Both David Green and Kenny Wallace failed to make the 500, but rebounded here at the Rock, starting third and outside pole. At the point, after a 67-race winless drought for the pole, is Rick Mast. Rick, 3 times you started on the pole, 3 times you failed to make it past lap 2. Is today the day good luck finally shines?
I believe so. You know what I mean? They did that number deal last week with Earnhardt. You're 9, divided by 3 makes 3, and all that stuff. I didn't understand all that, but we're doing the letter deal here. Rock and Rick from Rockbridge at the Rock. We're going to do it. I think we'll be okay. my car, it seems like it takes about 10 laps to get going. After that, it runs real good. So, you know, I kind of got a love-hate affair with this place. I love it. We've run good. I hate it, and it's not letting me finish well. So maybe today's our day. If not, what we're really wanting to do, we're wanting to get to Atlanta, leave Atlanta being in the top 25 in points so we can get off this qualifying pressure run a little bit. But, you know, Remington's behind us and all that, so it's a good deal.
Well, good luck. Now let's go to Steve Burns.
Matt, Eli talked about the rules changes. Let's call it the 5 and 5 effective today. For the Fords and Chevrolets, the rear spoiler has to be 5 inches off the back of the deck lid. On the front air dam must be 5 inches from the pavement to the top of the air dam. Now, what does this all mean? Let's make this simple. It means less spoiler and more front air dam. That's going to slow these cars down in the corners. The theory is that it will put the race back in the driver's hands, putting a premium on the drivers. Now, the Pontiacs, it's about the same, a couple eighths of an inch either way. One of the best Pontiac racers here is Kyle Petty. He's got 3 wins and 5 poles. But today you start 25th. Now, what does all that stuff mean? Can you get to the front?
Yeah, especially at a place like Rockingham. This place has been good to Pontiacs. You know, what does it all mean? I don't think any of us knows. I think the guys in the Tauruses, the guys in the Chevys, and I know us in the Pontiacs are trying to figure out what the 5 and 5 rule is going to do to the cars. Hopefully it is going to put some of the drivability back in the driver's hands, and at places like Atlanta and Vegas where we're going, it's going to slow the corner speeds down. So it was a necessary rule change, and I applaud NASCAR for making it.
All right, best of luck. Let's go back up to Eli.
Steve, thank you very much, and welcome again to Rockingham, everyone. With Dick Berggren and Buddy Baker, I'm Eli Gold. When we last left you in Phoenix near the end of last year, remember that nice powder blue $8 hat that Dick Berggren used to have? It's been a prosperous offseason. He has upgraded to the $30 suede issue, so congratulations on that, sir. But let's talk racing. What's the big story as you see it today?
Tire management, I think, is going to be the big story today, Eli. This racetrack is exceptionally abrasive, so much so that it absolutely tears at the tires. Yesterday, they ran a Busch Grand National race, and this is some of what used to be on the surface of the tires. Just tore it loose. It wound up on the bottom of turn 4, where I picked it up this morning. Now, as the racetrack tears away at the tires lose their grip, the car slows down. That's not what the crews want. So the crews have outfitted these race cars with softer springs, lower air pressure, special shock absorbers. That'll help, but the major responsibility for tire management rests with the drivers. You know about that, Buddy Baker.
He sure does.
Well, the basics you have to remember. It's easy to overdrive the car here. If you run in the corner too hard, get the back end sliding, it loses grip, it starts tearing the tires apart. You have to run the accelerator like you have an egg under the accelerator. Right up here is the key to the day. Being smart, keeping the tires under the car.
You can hear in the background they have fired the engines, so we are set to go racing. When we come back, the starting lineup and the green flag. Race number 2 of the season. It's live on TNN. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Good Wrench Service Plus 400 is brought to you by Texaco, a world of...
Okay. Yeah, we're here.
The Daytona 500. David Green will start 3rd. He didn't make the 500. 4 guys in the top 10 qualifiers today. As you take a look at the starting lineup, did not qualify for the Daytona 500.
Yeah, and the 1st and 2nd place finishers in the Daytona 500 had to make...
Okay. Yeah, we're here. Loud and clear. How am I? He's here, putting his headset on.
I'm sorry. Good morning. I had muted.
Hey, man.
Muted.
Thank you.
I wanted to see
I thought
if
everything
my
went
dad
fine.
was
Oh, there, yeah,
still
it was good.
with
Thank you.
the 81 car on the cup side. I guess nobody's around the car anymore at this shot. Okay. That's what I backed up to see.
Copy for Duralube.
They're all
Or they'll
already
just
in the
say-
pit box.
I guess they just say I don't have Duralube copy.
So I would imagine they would be in pit stall number 1, which it looks like there's a square D sign down there.
Not really. They've had a good, cool week.
Now this is a raw feed, so it's a satellite feed, so we gotta just skip ahead. Past the commercial. See, it's like a TV commercial timeout.
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Good Wrench Service Plus 400 is brought to you by Texaco, a world of energy. By the more than 1,750 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By First Plus Financial. At First Plus, we're working first for you. And by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time.
It's a pretty long race. 4 minutes, but see, 4 hours, but I will skip through anything that's like follow the leader or something like that.
Let's take a look at the Duralube starting grid. And guys, how about it? Rick Mast, he has had such a run of bad luck. Kenny Wallace, he was home last week, didn't make the Daytona 500. David Green, who'll start third, he didn't make the 500. 4 guys in the top 10 qualifiers today. As you take a look at the starting lineup, did not qualify for the Daytona 500.
Yeah, and the first and
Now,
second
Newt
place finishers
Moore
in the Daytona
was the
500 had to make
crew chief
today's
on
field using provisionals
Kenny
there in the back
Wallace's
pit.
team.
Well, you got to think about Rick Mast. He come very close to winning this race last year. Had engine problems.
I'm not
near
sure
the
if
end
he
of
went
race,
to the
so look to him to be a
55, if
factor
that
all
was
day.
just
There's Dick
a
Trickle. He finished
number
fifth here a year ago,
change
if you
or
remember. That's row number
owner
9, Joe
change or-
Nemechek and Mike Skinner, who was 8th at Daytona a week ago. There's the rookie, Steve Park,
have to
alongside
research
veteran Geoff Bodine. He has had a second place finish here. Terry Labonte, Ricky Craven,
Bodine's
he's
driving the
always in the top
Matei
5
car
here at
again.
Rockingham.
Led the most laps here
The
in
week
last
before,
fall.
somebody else drove it last at
Kyle
Daytona.
Petty's Pontiac, Robert Presley.
Oh, I know what I'm thinking. I would watch the 1999. The following year, someone else
Tony
was.
Glover again as his crew chief.
He runs well here. They'll be tough today, no doubt about that.
That's what it was.
There you see Jerry Nadeau, another of the standout rookies for 1998. Dale Earnhardt, he'll start back in the field and pit on the back straightaway. So will all these other big names that you see right here. Lake Speed, Chad Little had a fine speed weeks. And there is DW on the past champions provisional starting spot. Now the AutoZone race analysis. This racetrack measures 1.017 miles around, hence 393 laps for the 400-mile distance. The Ford track description.
I used to know all the sizes of the tracks because back then our digital stopwatches, you had to program in the lap size or the length of the track length for it to calculate your
Back
miles per
straightaway,
hour.
1,367 feet. First Cup race in 65, but again, been a few years now since they last
First
repaved
Cup
the
race in
racetrack. And that'll be a story as we watch that tire management that Dick and Buddy talked about earlier today.
And always remember to turn 2 over there. That is the most difficult part of Rockingham Speedway.
Now let's take you around with the in-car cameras, the roof cam, and a big thank you to Paul Boykin, all the guys at Boykin and Associates doing a great
Boy, the
job all week
technology
building
was
those new mounts
pretty
for
rough back then.
these roof cams that have returned to NASCAR racing effective with the start of the 98 season. Ted Musgrave from 11th spot. Further back, Bobby Labonte from the back of the field in 38th. There you see Kyle Petty carrying the Tabasco in-car camera, and Ricky Craven as well on board with the Budweiser team. Back down to pit road, Glenn Jarrett before the start.
Eli, we talked about the disadvantages of being on the backstretch pitch. There are a couple of advantages. One, there's less traffic back here, far less opportunity to get involved in a crash on pit road like we saw at Daytona. Second, the fuel pumps are right here at the pit, so they don't have near as far for the guys carrying the fuel runners to carry fuel. Here's Matt.
Last week, Bobby Labonte finished second. Today, he starts 38. They spent all day Friday chasing a fuel pickup problem. They finally found it Saturday afternoon. They know they have a good car today. It's nicknamed Happy Gilmore. Bobby told me he hopes it'll make him happy one more time with a victory today. Steve Burns.
Matt, Jack Roush has 5 cars in this race today. 3 of them are pitting right next to each other. Mark Martin, Johnny Benson, and Ted Musgrave. We'll see if they work together. And right now, let's go green.
Jimmy Howell is atop the flag stand today. Again this year, he and Rodney Wise alternating as chief starters for NASCAR Winston Cup Racing. The crowd is juiced. They're fired up. We are going green here at the Rock.
In 77 there on the outside. The groove is already moving up just a little bit. This is a fast racetrack. The preferred line in the early goings is right around that white line, right around the bottom of the racetrack.
The 50 of Ricky Craven, that red machine you saw middle of the field in 21st as we go back up front with Rick Mast. Kenny Wallace is in second. David Green, who still has never finished in the top 15 in a NASCAR Winston Cup race. This is his 27th career start. Maybe today is finally the day, because he's a much better driver than those kind of numbers would indicate. Look at that big pack of traffic midway through. That's 19th on back.
It'll be interesting to see these 3 rabbits out front who have never won a Winston Cup race, see if they're going to try to run away with this thing. If they do, they may well burn the tires off their cars, trying to gain some ground on the veterans who are behind them, being a little bit more conservative in the early going.
6 of the top 10 starters today have not won a NASCAR Winston Cup race.
You can see Terry Labonte, the 5 car there, jumping around on the bottom side of Sterling Marlin in the 40th. Right at this point, what people are doing is really getting the car sorted out. They're talking to the pit crew saying, hey, the car's doing so and so and so and so. Get there some of the rubber buildup that you talked about earlier in the show. You get all those shavings up on the high side and you get into it early in the race, it can spin you out.
Now Bobby Hamilton, he drives the 4. Ricky Rudd there, you saw the tide colors to the inside of Hamilton. That's 28th and 29th spot. Paddling through turn 2. Jerry Nadeau now going way high and backpedaling from 32nd spot back towards the end of the field. Introduced a completely new Goodyear Eagle recommendation, a brand new tire for this weekend's activities.
They're picking up the throttle very easy, not jumping back into it, keeping those rear wheels hooked up.
Battle for the lead now. Kenny Wallace drawing near. Had an idea coming off turn number 4, but no need to push it here this early, lap number 6.
Kenny Wallace seems to be able to run just a little bit lower up out of the corner. You see him making the move on Rick Mast. Mast will fight back on the outside, but he ought to be able to make the move going into turn 1. They'll run basically side by side down the front straightaway. When they go into turn 1, I think Mast will fall back just a little bit.
Now that time Mast still leads it back to the stripe.
So much for what I thought. They're still side by side down the back straightaway.
It's a good race. It's kind of fun to watch. These 2 guys pitted side by side. They had the garages one right next to the other, so they had a good chance to look over and see what each other has been doing all week long. Man, they're running awful hard for this early in the race.
The 4th car there, Jeff Gordon, you can see he's really dialed in well on the bottom part of the racetrack, but he's got company. Jeremy Mayfield has been the talk of the town for the past 2 weeks.
Sure.
Well, he should be. He went into 1997 with only 3 top 10s in his whole career. He picked up 8 more. Then he goes to the Daytona 500, gets his career best ever finish, and he's got his career best ever start here at Rockingham. He is on a roll in that number 12 car.
And give him 4th place right there. He grabs it away from Jeff Gordon. In the early stages here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham, 10 laps in. Rick Mast has led them all as you ride with Mark Martin. Car number 6 is currently 6th. Taking a bit of a higher groove there through the corner is Rick Mast and all the others, but it's paying off here in the early going. Everybody's settling in for an afternoon of racing at the Rock. Stay with us here on TNN.
I think that my dad might be with the Kenny Wallace car. I'm thinking he is. Because he said he went to Vegas with Phil Martacci, and I said, well, that was in 98, which is the next race they'll go to.
A good 30
But,
car went back from Andretti.
I'm half thinking he was.
Which one? Rockingham98.com?
Buddy.
Yeah.
I can update that. His car is just a little tight right now,
But
but
I'll
he
have
thinks
to
it'll come
confirm
in.
it by seeing him in the
75
pit
is
or
a
something.
little bit tad tight too. So.
Or his notebooks. He's going through that.
Actually. He sure has.
Yes.
The weather sure has changed from this morning when it was bright sun to the overcast now. That might be something to keep an eye on.
I'll look when it comes by the next time.
What Rick is going to do, he's on
also, you know, in the
brand new
Busch race
racetrack up there. He's going to wear the tires right off of that thing.
Who is?
Mast.
Rick Mast, yeah.
He's up there where the...
Well, let's talk about that.
Well, you can see that Herman's moving in on him again.
I bet he's hurt him already. I bet that's why he's up there, buddy, don't you think?
Yeah.
Mark Martin's the one on the steady climb. He's just coming right on.
How unusual.
Yeah.
Which question are we going to see here?
Where is Earnhardt?
All right.
Now?
33rd. Only picked up 4 spots.
He's on a move to the rear right at the moment. Yeah, you need to see Mark Martin. He's moving up right now on Jeremy and making a pass. Isn't this where Mark Martin won his first major race?
Yep. That was here.
Oh, the 55 square D was the Busch race. That's why the 81 is still here. Now I get it.
Let's go. We know when and we know how. The real question is why. Watch this. Wow. It's just so much.
Craven's got a lot of confidence here as well. Of his 4 top 5s last year, 2 of them came right here at Rockingham, led the most laps in the fall race. He's led the last 5 Busch Grand National races he has run here in a row, led all 5 of them. He's got probably more confidence here at Rockingham than any other racetrack on the circuit.
Yeah, 3 top 5 finishes here in 7 visits. Tough to beat those kind of numbers.
Yeah, that was Ted Musgraves when you were riding down the front straightaway there, the 16 car just now, the in-car camera. You could tell he was gaining up on the car in front of him there, which is Rusty Wallace, just a little bit.
There's Jeff Gordon in the 24. Johnny Benson just went by him, so they're swapping around a bit. Benson now in 4th, Gordon in 5th. Johnny Benson, another of those who missed the Daytona 500 a weekend ago. Remember the 43 now, John Andretti. There's Mark Martin in car number 6. We're riding with him. Mark's in 8th position now. that's 18th place right there. Robert Presley, Ward Burton, Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton 18th, 19th, and 20th. Glenn Jarrett, he's on the back pit area. Obviously no stops yet, Glenn.
Well, no, Eli, there's a couple of guys that are from back here that are doing pretty well. Bobby Hamilton has moved way up in the field. By my last count, he was up in 18th, maybe even better now. Dale Jarrett has moved up to 22nd. Bobby likes his car. Dale says his car's a little loose. Meanwhile, Earnhardt hadn't said anything yet. He has moved up to 28. Bobby Labonte seems to be the one faring the worst. His car has a really bad push in it in the center of the corner, which then makes it loose off the corner. He's way back in 39th position.
Working lap number 30. A total of 393 make up the distance today, and that's the man who's been going from the butt pole, and he hasn't been touched yet. Rick Mast leads by 0.7 of a second.
Let's just talk just for a second about push and loose.
Right.
We use that terminology all the time, and we never explain it that much.
Race, if you remember, we've talked so much about the back pits. Neil Bonnet won this race in 1988 from 30th starting spot and a backstretch pit stall. And here's one of the guys right there, the 3, Dale Earnhardt, working off the back pits. And again, no stops have been made yet, but he's already up to 25th and is threatening to get around his the car that he and his wife own, Steve Park, and try and move past him into 24th. Good second place battle now. Kenny Wallace goes high. Johnny Benson says cheerio. And
Johnny
right
Benson,
by.
wow, what great rip up off the corner. You see, Wallace never even put up a battle there. Johnny Benson misses the race in Daytona, comes back with a great run today. That's got to make the sponsors feel good, but especially Johnny Benson.
And again, across the top of the screen, you see that scoring rundown. MCI presenting the NASCAR timing and scoring for you here this afternoon as we keep you appraised of where your favorite driver is running here. Still early, obviously. You see 355 laps remaining here at Rockingham.
As we look at Johnny Benson in that number 26 car currently running in second position, let's remember that it's a brand new team headed up by Steve Meal, who used to be the crew chief for Mark Martin. He's been shuffled over to Benson, and a lot of people think that could be one of the toughest teams on the circuit this year.
Mark Martin on a steady run towards the front. He just got by Jeff Gordon a lap before. You can see him coming up out of the corner there, very smooth. That's Jeff Gordon just behind him. John Andretti in the third car back there.
So Mark Martin with that move grabs 5th with Gordon back into the 6th spot. You know, you talk about new teams. I think one of the classic stories was Steve Park, the Ray Bestis Rookie of the Year candidate this year down at Daytona. They were in the process of moving into their new shop. They didn't get that done. I was talking to Felipe Lopez, the crew chief down in Daytona, and they were literally unwrapping the tools. I mean, they had their pit tools still in the plastic bags the way they were shipped from the manufacturer. And, you know, that is a new team.
Eli, I tell you, Johnny Benson is running like crazy. When we come back, we're going to join this battle.
It had been 1 1/10 seconds. It's now still 1 1/10, but it's Johnny Benson who now has second spot ahead of Kenny Wallace.
I don't know whether Rick Mast went up there because he thought it was faster or because he had to, because the car wouldn't turn down low.
I'm gonna run.
Benson had never led here at Rockingham until this afternoon, and right now he is looking awful good. That car is going any place on the racetrack that he wants it to go. And Jack Roush and Steve Meal have got to have smiles on that go from year to year watching this kid's performance.
And very honestly, the only way Johnny Benson even saw the leaders here in past races was when they came by to lap him. He never finished on the lead lap. He never finished better than 20th. Hey, watch John Andretti there in the 43.
7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th right there going at it. You see Rusty Wallace has joined into this battle too.
Let's remind ourselves that that number 43 team is the same team that won here last fall. Unfortunately, it's not the same car, it's not the same driver, it's not the same chassis setup, they told me this morning. It's not even the
Kenny
same
Wallace's nose is dinged on the car. And look at the front hood, it's lifted up a little bit.
By the way, folks, want to thank you so much. All of you who have been logging on to your computer at the Rockingham98.com address trying to access the in-car cameras that are on the internet.
I was wondering why the speed dropped off all of a sudden. But see, yeah, the front nose is lifted.
The system is having trouble keeping up. So here's what we've got for you. If you'd like, just log on to country.com. That is is TNN's regular internet site, and there'll be those little icons there. You can click on to those, and they will take you through a bit of a back door to the Rockingham 98 location. So those of you who tried at Rockingham98.com and couldn't get through because all the lines were jammed, go to www.country.com and just follow the little icons, and they'll take you to the internet and the in-car cameras. And there you go. Dale Jarrett worked around Kenny Wallace. Give Jarrett 9th now. Wallace is back to 10th. Jeff Gordon is behind them in 11th.
Remind you that Dale Jarrett in that number 88 car started all the way back in the 32nd position, lost a motor in his qualifying run, so he wound up at the back of the pack to start this thing, but he sure got that car dialed in right now.
I would like to know how you finished second 4 times in a row at a racetrack. That's remarkable. That is remarkable. Dale Jarrett's done that. But today, if he stays hooked up like he's running, he's going to be up there making those leaders live a hard life before too long.
We are caution-free, and that's why the leaders this quickly are beginning now to lap all the way up to 37th. That's Chad Little just ahead. Todd Parrott looking on. He's the crew chief for Dale Jarrett. He likes what he sees.
From racetrack to road, Mobil 1 Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
I would like Eli. Bill Elliott is just absolutely going well. That's a very popular person to mention every once in a while.
All right.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, man. I thought Benson had done his thing there. You see Kyle Petty going a lap down.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Pontiac.
Daddy's car.
Oh, Herman's dropping back.
Yeah.
10th.
I already did one.
Like rain
Another
on a
one?
slick roof.
I snuck one in before, Pam. Yes, ma'am.
You're watching Benson
when you weren't listening, when you're doing something else.
Benson's car.
When the logo came back up on the screen, I just snuck it in. Yep.
Bobby Labonte's fixing to go a lap down, too.
Yep, and Kyle is a lap down.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of other good cars before. Oh, geez.
No.
Did you hear that?
I heard them. I wish I hadn't.
Everybody else is big zeros today. It's a Cheerio car. Goes to the front. He's frosting everyone.
STP-Fahrzeug auf
Kyle Petty's on pit road.
Pit stop for Kyle. 63.
And right behind him comes
Mike Skinner.
Skinner had been running well.
Für Kyle Petty, während die Kamera momentan noch beim Zweikampf die Führung bleibt, ist Juniors Auto.
We need to eavesdrop on those guys.
Expected to have a 4-tire pit stop. You can see they made 2 rounds lower on the track bar to try to help Rick Mast's car. Remember, he was complaining the car was a little bit loose. This is a 4-tire pit stop. As he said, most typically taking out 4 tires because tire wear is so great here at Rockingham. And he's down and away, 23.6 seconds.
Mark Martin is right now being shown as the race leader, but he too will have to make a pit stop here at lap number 74. So Mark Martin comes down the pit lane. The leader is now Bill Elliott as we go to Mark Martin's pit.
And Eli, as we said, Mark Martin stayed out to get those 5 bonus points. They want to win the championship. Jimmy Bennick's crew after the wall. Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Steve over the back stretch. Dale Jarrett is in. A little bit of trouble on the left front. He's down at about 19 seconds. Earnhardt was in for 22. Steve?
Mark Martin's been going well. They have some new crew
being shown as the race leader. There he is. Many of the other top names have already pitted. Geoff Burton has not. He is going to be running in second as Elliott now begins to make his pit stop, and John Andretti is in. Matt?
It's a 4-tire pit stop for John Andretti. They've already made a wedge adjustment on his car. Andretti, like most everyone today, complaining his car is a tad loose, and he's down and away.
He just got a quick glimpse of Geoff Burton behind him. He's in for service. The crew with a new crew chief for Bill Elliott here in 1998, taking care of the McDonald's Ford.
Joe Garone is in charge of the crew right now. He's the guy on the front tires that just showed Elliott the way to go. Forward to the front of the pack is what he wants.
Joe Garone, he's a good one too. Been around the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Spent a couple of years with that 94 team. And when Mike Beam was going to move into a business role, trouble on the wall. Robert Presley.
Oh no!
Caution on the
Everybody
Speedway. Call there on those self-cleaning banks for Robert Presley.
Well, he hit it and hit it and hit it again, didn't he?
Lap 77, the first caution flag of the day. The leader is Johnny Benson. Everything has
You don't want to be that guy.
just barely,
halfway
but it
through
has
pit
cycled
cycle.
back around. The timing in this sport sometimes is so very special because you can find yourself going a lap down just as easily as finding yourself back on the point. Let's take a look at what happened, guys.
That's Robert Presley there. He starts up, looks like a tire might have been going down. He goes up, hits the outside wall. Now watch the car hug that wall. He's out. The car's doing all that. He's not holding it up there. The right front's probably bent all the way back against the cowl.
So caution is on the speedway. Robert Presley spins at lap 77. The leader now is Johnny Benson, ahead of Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, Dale Jarrett, and Rick Mast.
That's like a tire went flat to you.
They had a problem on the right rear. Kenny Wallace is now 20th. Dick Trickle also just came in to take
What
off 4
the
more tires.
flip,
We'll be back with
man.
more from the Goodwrench Service Plus 400 here in Rockingham, North Carolina.
That sucks.
On the racetrack, among them Schrader, Earnhardt,
It's all
Tony
time.
Kyle Petty, all pitted for fresh rubber.
Matt, what are you hearing from the Greg Sachs pit?
Well, Greg is back up to full song, but the problem is he believes he broke third gear, so he's going to have some trouble on restarts today if indeed he's broken that third gear. Right now, though, he appears to be back up to full speed.
You see Sterling Marlin there in the 40 trying to get his lap back on Johnny Benson there. You see Hut Strickler in the 8. He's back in the lead lap now. These guys are fighting it out. That's why they're giving these guys a hard time. But look at a fight for the lead right now.
Sterling's on the tail end of the lead lap along with the 8 of Hut Strickland. The leader, Johnny Benson, is right behind. Then you've got Jarrett battling and grabbing second in the 88. The McDonald's car, that's Bill Elliott. He'll come battling back to try and take second spot away.
This is an incredible performance by Jarrett and his crew to be pitting on the backstretch and still, after that 30-second starting spot, to be running in second this early in the race.
Todd Parrott told me yesterday I've been waiting 3 months for this race. He said, we love this racetrack. We have a good setup, and it's proven out well today.
Quickly to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, guys, Dale Earnhardt, as you mentioned, Dale Earnhardt was one of those guys that came in the pits under that caution there. I asked Larry McGreal what was wrong. He said nothing. Everybody else behind him pitted. Dale said he needed fresh tires too, so they came in.
Now to Steve Burns.
Yeah, ditto down here, guys. Dick Trickle came in, Ward Burton, Terry Labonte. They're towards the tail end of the lead lap. They wouldn't lose any position, so why not come in and get on fresh rubber? Now let's go back up to the lead.
Dale Jarrett running where he is accustomed at this racetrack.
Dale Jarrett,
second place.
He pulled up just a second ago on the inside, Eli, coming out of turn 4. It took a good look. Look at Mark Martin, a master at this racetrack. Won his first ever major race right here. He knows what's going on also.
And we're riding with Mark Martin. He's in 3rd. Rick Masters 4th. Bill Elliott 5th. And across the top of the screen, you see all the other rundowns with 305 laps to go.
Dale Jarrett has never won a Winston Cup race here in that number 88 car. Looking through the windshield of Mark Martin, close car at him. He has won in the Busch Grand Nationals back in 1991. And if you think 4 second-place finishes is something, Harry Gant did it 5 times and never won at Rockingham.
Remember that stretch when Harry had all the runner-up finishes?
Yeah, he just didn't want to come to this place.
No. Of course, Harry also had that great stretch when he could do nothing but win.
Yeah.
So it kind of works that way in this sport, doesn't it? Ricky Rudd is back in 39th spot. Just happened to see him go by, and there he is. Oh, we see the hands out the window. He's got a problem. He's telling everybody, stay clear. I'm going to slow on down and get to the pits as best I can. Tough break for Ricky Rudd. Meanwhile, for the lead, Jarrett inside of Johnny Benson.
It's hard to get a good run up out of the corner, but Jarrett does it. You can see that car really rocketed out of that corner.
Benson will lead from lap 75 to 91. Dale Jarrett, the new leader, at lap number 92. Jarrett, Benson, Martin, Rick Mast, our Bud Pole sitter, and Bill Elliott. And now Jeff Gordon in the 24, Rusty Wallace in that blue and white number 2, Jeremy Mayfield, the blue and white number 12, the green and white 33, the skull colors for Ken Schrader. That's a great battle, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Schrader's still hurting from that Daytona crash. Friday night, he wound up walking over to the...
Let's go. We know when and we know how. The real question...
Infield Care Center to try to straighten himself out. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Well, Dick, I was talking to Ray Abraham. He told me on that last pit stop, their car was so loose it had wore out the right rear tire because Geoff had heated it up so much. They were thinking about coming in on the last caution, but decided not to give up track position. He's cautioning Geoff, hey, look, just take it easy on this set of tires. There's about 300 laps left to go, so we're not going to win it on lap 93.
Pit strategy and patience, very much a name of the game. See Schrader in the 33, just at the head of that pack. Remember that Kenny right now being shown a lap down. Meanwhile, the battle for second spot. Mark Martin takes the outside route around Johnny Benson, and maybe Rick Mast can follow.
See, Rick Mast on the outside there. He's taking that Harry Gant line, as you talked about earlier, that high line around the racetrack, keeping those RPMs up, being very smooth in the center part of the corner.
So give Rick Mast third. It is Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin, Rick Mast now third. There's Johnny Benson battling Bill Elliott 4th and 5th. Benson in the 26, Elliott the 94. Can the lead go away?
Absolutely. Anytime you see Mark Martin going to the inside, the lead is over with. He has the lead going down the back straightaway here.
Lap 92 through 96, it belonged to Dale Jarrett. Now Mark Martin, lap number 97, takes over the top spot. And old Rick Mast, you see that yellow car to the left of your screen there? He's making that outside groove work.
Martin won his first ever career Winston Cup race right here in 1989. The October event was his first victory. Boy, Mast on the outside.
And just watch that as he goes into the corner again.
Yeah.
Far different than everybody else. Now Bill Elliott's going to try it.
It don't take very long. When you pass the car, he'll watch where you're quick at, and they'll try it a couple of laps. If your car does not work there, you have to go back to the bottom. But I'd look for Rick Mast to have a lot of company on the high side.
What's more important, buddy, where you as a human like to drive and are most comfortable, or where the car is most comfortable?
You absolutely go with the machine. Where you're comfortable means nothing, and that absolutely has to do with getting that car around the quickest way.
Jeff Gordon, meanwhile, has backslid all the way to 17th. Let's follow here as everybody comes by, and more guys come by, and more guys come by, and Jeff Gordon still backsliding now to 18th. Matt, what are you hearing?
Eli, Jeff Gordon says it's loose, it's loose, it's loose. I can't run low, I can't run high. I'm just hanging on right now, hopefully going to our next pit stop. Now let's go to Steve Burns.
Well, Matt, Ricky Rudd is sitting in the garage area. He finished 42nd at Daytona. A rough start to the season. Just spoke to Bill Engel, the new general manager on this team. He says they believe they have a broken rocker arm. They're going to try and get Ricky back out on the racetrack.
So the repairs underway. Meanwhile, remember a short while ago when Kyle Petty was battling and he found himself down a lap, but then Sterling Marlin in on exchange got back on the tail end of the lead lap. Well, now from the race leader, Sterling has pulled away. And we'll give you a look at that here in a second, but we do want to stay with for a moment. But Mark Martin is the race leader, and all of a sudden, just ahead and pulling away is Sterling Marlin. Maybe a name to think about as the day continues, but here's a good battle for fifth now.
Eli, this is a good example of what happens with just a few tweaks on a car. Rusty Wallace is now up there with Johnny Benson trying to get by him. Johnny Benson's struggling right now.
Well, the 2 and the 12 locked together. This looks like the Daytona 500 where they spent so much of the day nose to tail.
Now watch from the Duralube aerial camera. There's the leader, Mark Martin. Remember how Sterling had just gotten his lap back? Well, you still don't see him. We'll widen out now and see as the field comes by. There he is, Sterling Marlin. He's got about 3 seconds now, maybe 3.5 on the leader. So although he is still in 33rd spot, still one of the quicker cars on the racetrack.
I'm going to tell you a little secret, though. He who lives by the sword also can die by it. He's gone out there and really outrun the leader at this point, but he's used his tires up. It won't be long for the leader's
Looks
running
like
down.
Kenny's up to 16.
What he's got to hope for is a caution.
They said he was in 20th,
We have
so
had
he's
just one
going
caution
forward
today.
still.
It came out when Robert Presley hit the wall at lap number 77 in car number 77. There's the rundown at the Rock.
Look at Jeremy.
Every time Dale Jarrett pits, he's going to have his hands full trying not to lose a whole bunch of spots.
Battle for third, a good one now. Craven is in fourth. Rusty Wallace to his inside has third. See the rundown across the top of the screen. Napa Auto Parts bringing you NASCAR timing and scoring. There's Craven in fourth.
Wow, that outside camera on the 50 car of Craven must be right against the wall, because I'm telling you, it looked like he was rubbing it coming off turn 2 just then.
That's his habit. Every time Ricky Craven runs here, he goes upstairs as soon as the tires start to wear in a little bit. I asked him why that was. He sort of looked at me and winked and said, I'm not going to tell you. It's my little secret.
We talked about rookies during our pre-race show. Let's take you back to 21st spot. You see Kenny Irwin in that black, gold, and orange machine, the Texaco Haviland colors. He was battling Dale Earnhardt moments ago and won the battle for 21st and 22nd. Now you look ahead towards them.
That was Derek Cope in the 30 there on the inside, the black car. Jeff Gordon got his hands full today. I'm telling you, he's back here in the pack. He and Terry Labonte both are struggling right now.
In a car called Buckhead, and they may be wondering about choice of cars.
I'm glad you said that, because I didn't know if I wanted to step into the middle of that. I'll tell you, the rookies, though, having a pretty interesting day today. It's a lot to learn, Matt Yoakum. Far different running here than running at Daytona.
Eli, definitely so. It's 393 laps of classroom work out here today. Mark Reno told me the biggest problem the rookies will have this weekend is the fact that their tires fall off, and apparently the 17 cars in the wall. Eli?
Darrell Waltrip is in the wall, running in 40th position. Already 3 laps down. You see the fans running to see as caution is on the speedway. Lap 127. Darrell Waltrip in the wall, and also problems for Greg Sachs. There comes Sachs onto the screen now as his Ford Taurus begins to erupt smoke from the rear of the automobile. So Mark Martin is the race leader. We are under caution, lap 127. Old DW had it stacked up against him today from the get-go, guys. Darrell was a lap down before you really knew it. There's his wife Stevie looking on. Obviously disappointed, though at this point clear that obviously Darrell drove around to the garage area, but you hate to see it for Darrell Waltrip.
You really do. I mean, today was his 51st Rockingham start. This guy's got 4 wins at this place, 19 tops 5s, more than anybody else. He's not going to have a good finish today.
Eli, I'd have to speculate that he may have got into some of the fluids coming out of the 98 car with Sachs, and that put him into the wall.
That could well be if he was directly behind Sachs, and to be honest, it's close enough that it was likely, because Sachs, he was running in the 30s position-wise, and Darrell was back in 40th spot. And if they got into an oil problem, an oil leak or something, there's nothing you can do. You're just along for the ride. Well, see some guys trying to fake each other out there. You see that? Some of the guys said, we'll go and make the pit stop and see who goes and follows. Only Michael Waltrip actually does commit, along with Kenny Irwin. Now some of the guys further back will make their stops. Lap 128. Steve Burns is there.
Eli looking at Michael Waltrip's group. Terry Hall, the Jackman, is going to be a 4-tire change for Michael Waltrip. Had a decent qualifying run here. Pretty clean pit stop. Michael Waltrip is down.
Jeff Gordon's in. You see that ratchet wrench going in, guys. An adjustment being made, Matt.
New to Toyota Gazoo Racing, there are a lot of unofficial rules. Rules like only pass cars on the left. Don't drive on the grass. When you win, be humble. You know what they say, rules are made to be broken. You in?
Eli, they're also going to take a rubber out of the right rear. 4-tire stop for Jeff Gordon. The rubber they put into the spring did not seem to help, so they're going to take that out, and he's down.
So, caution on the speedway. Bobby Hamilton is in on the back pit area, Glenn.
Yes, he is, Eli. They're going to change 4 tires behind him. Dale Earnhardt, Bobby Labonte, Jeff Green, all those cars came in. Surprisingly, Dale Jarrett did not come in, so they didn't have enough. I guess they didn't feel like they had too many laps on those tires. They're through with Hamilton's car, handing away, and wow, a little over 20 seconds. He's followed out by Bobby Labonte. Here comes Earnhardt. He was the 3rd one in, but the 4th one out. He lost the spot to Jeff Green there.
And you saw Derek Cope right behind as well, having made his stop. There's Ken Schrader in for service. All of this under caution at lap 129.
My car started missing, carrying on, and was getting ready to pit and do something about it, and just kind of met at the wrong place at the right time, and not Kenny's fault, and it sure ain't my fault, but that's racing, I guess, but sure hate it. I was going to try to get in the next lap because we had a major problem developing, and short day.
Amount of mail from the Far East. I really do. I mean,
Something
from
happened.
different countries in Europe and everywhere. You know, it's really amazing.
They're
It's
show
worldwide now.
Only problem is you don't know the language, so you can't answer the phone.
Wiener Schnitzel to you.
To the garage. Let's get an update on Darrell Waltrip.
And Eli, I'm standing by with him. He's overlooking the work going on in his car, although it has stopped right now. Darrell, hard hit there. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just said to myself, I just told the guys, I said, this car is so bad, I don't think I could get any worse. And about that time, 98 blew up right in front of me, and I couldn't do nothing. I got in the oil and spun the thing into the fence, but
okay.
It might have done me a favor, because I was getting rather ill out there. These are the meanest driving, illest handling, slipping and sliding, stinkingest bunch of race cars I ever saw. I hope that they take a look at this rule deal, because this ain't no good for Chevrolet, I can tell you that.
I just wish one time the man would say what he really means. Matt?
Well, going to caught up with Jimmy Finning, the crew chief for Mark Martin. Jimmy, you guys have got it up to the point. How is the car now in the longer runs? Have you got it to where you want it?
Yeah, the car's been good all day. On long runs, we were pretty pleased with it. We haven't made no adjustments yet. We'll just wait and see what happens.
You're doing some hand signals with Steve Beal. What were you guys hand signaling about?
Oh, I asked him what his car was doing. He asked me what our car was doing.
Well, he's looking for a win today. Steve Burns?
And with David Green, his car's a mess, but David, you're okay, and what happened?
Yeah, I'm fine.
No, ma'am.
Pretty good there, and I think the Chevrolet's suffering a little bit now. We were awful loose right there, and Jeff Gordon was at first, and made adjustments a lot better, and passed Kenny Irwin. Then right after that, my car started missing, carrying on, and was getting ready to pit and do something about it, and just kind of met at the wrong place at the right time, and not Kenny's fault, and it sure ain't my fault, but that's racing, I guess, but sure hate it. I was going to try to get in the next lap because we had a major problem developing, and short day, but I think hopefully the fans, I'm going to get a good seat because it's pretty slippery out there.
And I just base a lot of things on like Terry Labonte and Geoff Gordon. When those guys are kind of struggling, you know, what's that sum up about the way the picture is? And our car was pretty loose, but awful proud of this Chevrolet Monte Carlo in qualifying. We did a great job, first in class, and I'm ready to go to Vegas. It's a tough way to start, but I've dealt with it before, and we'll deal with it again.
All right, David, let's go back to Eli.
All right, guys, thank you very much. The blower now is clearing off all of the excess speedy dry. So much oil was put down.
The crew chief, and he said they had a bad vibration. They changed 4 tires. They not cut down a tire. They did not want, but they have a bad vibration, and they just can't get it to go away. Terrible break for Ricky Craven.
It is a tough break right there. So that reshuffles things just a bit with Rusty Wallace and Bodine now having settled second for the moment behind Mark Martin. And there is Ricky Craven. 13 3/10 seconds down from being on the lead lap. So he's a lap plus 13 and a half seconds in arrears to the leader, Mark Martin.
I want to say a special hello to Tim Flock. Last night he was inducted into the North Carolina Racing Hall of Fame. Only the 3rd man to receive that award. Richard Petty was the 1st. Bobby Allison was the 2nd. They went to his house to get it done. Tim Flock, suffering from cancer, took his medication so he could be awake, alert, and in good shape for this race. We know you're watching, Tim. We're thinking about you.
Definitely so.
Oh yeah, it was a good looking race.
I tell you, he's a friend of racing, period. And Tim, we all are just thinking of you, my friend.
Definitely so. There's the scoring rundown brought to you by MCI, presenting NASCAR timing and scoring. The 12 there, the blue and white car, Jeremy Mayfield. He's in 8th. The multicolored Skittles car in 9th.
I think that was the first year that Penske had
Let's go back to the pits. Get a further update.
Eli, we just heard Ricky Craven's radio communication. He says, I still have the vibration going into the corner, but it goes away in the straightaway. He said it vibrates so bad I can hardly see.
What would be causing that, Buddy Baker? What are the possible problems they're facing?
Eli, it could be so many things. They changed all 4 tires, so that's eliminated. We know that that's not the problem. It could be the gear going out and starting to chip out in there and starting to vibrate through the drivetrain. It could be the transmission, or it could be the motor starting to vibrate. It could be a series of things.
You see the 31 in moments ago there, Mike Skinner, the Lowe's car right in the middle of your screen. You're wondering why he's running like Jack the Bear and everybody else is kind of standing still. Remember that he pitted at lap 129. Everybody else, for the most part, came in at lap 108, at least those who were on the lead lap.
I went to coffee yesterday. It's one of the things we do with my dad, with the race car guys. Every Monday they meet for coffee, and there were 5 of us. Usually there's about double that, but a lot of them are up north right now, and in a couple weeks they'll come south for the winter. And then
he's everywhere.
Let's see, there was an engine builder, a former driver, a dad of an IMSA driver, my dad, and a guy that was a crew member in Bush and Cup through his years.
3.5. The others that he is going by are at 140, 140.8. That's the comparison. There's Dale Earnhardt now. That's a battle for position. Earnhart in the 3, Ernie Irvan in the 36. That's for 16th spot on the screen. And Terry Labonte in the 5 right behind him. Also
clear
in that battle.
Clear all around.
You can hear the spotter say clear all around. That lets you know that you don't even have to look in the mirror. The racetrack's clean, so you pull back up in the slot to get a good run off the corner.
That's Ernie Irvan's team. We are each dropping on.
All around.
So many interviews Earnhardt has done since winning the Daytona 500. He has talked championship. That 8th championship is very much on his mind. 44, Kyle Petty pits.
Meanwhile, closer to the front, 23, the red and white machine for Jimmy Spencer. The 75, the pole sitter Rick Mash. The 94, Bill Elliott. That's 5th, 6th, and 7th. Paul Spencer doing well, and the guys mentioned Kyle Petty is on pit road with our in-car cameras. That's the look on the roof cam. Down he goes off the jack, and the service is complete.
Over 4,200.
And again, they say, remember, 4,200 on the tachometer. He goes quicker than that in the numbers, you're speeding down pit road.
Yes, and that's a lap penalty. Nobody wants to play that. You can see the raw fuel there, unburned fuel in the 94 car. What that is, when you back off, it fills that exhaust pipe up with unburned fuel, and when you get back, it'll puff it right back out, but it'll burn that fuel because the exhaust is so hot.
Other pit stops taking place. Ted Musgrave is in for service. Lap 187 now. There's the Prime Star crew. Steve, what are you hearing for the rest of the guys? About 5 laps till they pit?
Yeah, exactly, Eli. Ted Musgrave getting the rest of his routine service. And
let's go. We know when and we know how.
I was trying to see how far up in front of that position that was where the pit was. It was up in the next section. But it was too far away to see.
6 and the 26, Mark Martin and
I
Johnny
think their
Bates
pit's out.
They should be in just a few laps. About lap 195.
Are they going with one teammate at a time, or is not really not a concern?
Hard to tell now. It's so blurry.
Martin pitting alongside Musgrave. Are they keeping one stall empty constantly, or is it just coincidence?
But I saw their pit board before. I don't know where they are.
They planned it out so that Mark Martin would stay out and get 5 bonus points. They're probably doing that on the reverse side this time, letting that first spot open up so that Mark and Johnny can get in cleanly.
There's the spread from first to second. Meanwhile, Glenn, Dale Jarrett's in.
Yes, he is, Eli. They're pitting just a little
That's
bit
a
early.
back
Dale
pit,
did
I
not
think.
like that last set of tires. Remember, under that last caution, he was one of the cars that stayed on the track for track position, so his tires were getting worn. He's glad to get those off. As I said, he did not like them. It's a 4-tire change. He's down and away in about 19.2 seconds. That's a good stop. That'll help him. The best thing that can happen to all these guys in the backstretch is for this thing to go
I've been to this track about 5 times, but I wasn't here in '98.
Can't remember Kyle Petty, with whom we're riding now, has the fresh
At
tires.
least 5. Gosh,
What a
maybe
great
6.
shot down the back straightaway. You can see Bodine there in the 7 as they head down. If you want to know what a great
Twice
race
in
car driver
95,
does, you,
twice in
this is it
96,
right
and
here.
twice in
This is closely driving that car. That's a great shot.
Glenn Jarrett just made a very valid point that we want to make sure we make note of, and that is when the guys on the backstretch pit under green flag conditions, they are at no disadvantage when compared to the guys who pit on the front stretch. It is only under caution flag
Same with
conditions.
Darlington.
Even today, NASCAR is trying to help
that
out.
one
They're
was
speeding
7
the caution
times, 'cause I
car
went
up,
in the
trying to
early
get the cars to
90s,
go a little bit faster
like
between
maybe
the start finish
93.
line area and the backstretch. That helps, but it doesn't solve the problem.
We are at lap 192 of 393. Pit stops expected any moment now. All the leaders came in at lap 108. We're now at, say, 192. Those that were on the back of the lead lap were already a lap down, came in again at lap number 128 as part of that Darrell Walton caution. And look at that, Jim
from
Trickle
the
in 90
81.
with new tires gets around.
But he sometimes
number
had
6,
Dad go to the
race leader,
track
Mark Martin. Geoff Green and the number 29 behind him. Of course, Trickle, remember, had a top 5 finish here a year ago. Hey, did you count up the other day when they named NASCAR's 50 all-time great drivers, of which Buddy Baker is one? Did you realize that 13 of the 50 have at one time in their career driven for Judy Donlevy? 13 of the 50.
I tell you what, I wouldn't give anything for the experience. What a nice guy. I come back after I was injured in 1988 and drove for Judy Donlevy. Probably as much fun as I ever had. Look at Jeff Gordon down under Jimmy Spencer here.
That's
Junie always
He's
was
finally got
smiling.
his car dialed in.
He really
very,
had
very
fun.
much a factor for the last little bit, and the car is able to run a little bit lower than these other cars.
I don't think I've ever
Remember,
seen
he won the
Junie not
race here
smile.
last year by being able to run the middle part of the racetrack, because everybody else was trying to run the bottom and the very top.
3 top 10 finishes here in the last 6 races. 2 wins and a 4th place finish for Jeff Gordon. That's 6th place, Rick Mast in the 75. Next time by will be at halfway. It'll be halfway home for Mark Martin the next time they come to the stripe. A bit of an overcast day. Kenny Irwin will make his pit stop as the leader comes to the stripe. A $10,000 bonus from Gatorade for leading it halfway. The Gatorade Front Runner Award goes to Mark Martin.
Rusty Wallace, so he's pulling down. He's about 10 car lengths behind your leader there, Mark Martin.
Johnny Benson pits.
Steve Burns.
And we heard their adjustments. They're going to do this with air pressure for Johnny Benson. They're going to take a half a pound in the right rear, take a half a pound out of the left rear. So it's just a half a pound
Mark's
of air
getting
pressure.
ready to come in. You can tell the gunman's right there. He's standing on a wall.
Also on his way. Eli, as you said, Ted Musgrave
on his toes.
Ago, opening up for Johnny Benson. Now Mark Martin is going to come in. Almost. Mark Martin had to overshoot the pits. Johnny Benson was on his way out. That was not an example of good teamwork. Bad timing. They're going to service.
Oh, those guys got to stop. Get back in the box.
Sean Parker changing tires, along with Mark Roberts.
Well, I guess they're allowed 3 tires in the box.
He was running in. Johnny Benson was leading, and Mark
I don't know, like that wouldn't be a penalty.
18.4 seconds. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
The lead now rests in the hands of the Flying Deuces. Mark Armstrong and Bill Wilburn going to work on the right side. They know if they can get Rusty out fast, they will take over the lead. No changes expected for the Miller Lite Ford. Rusty said the car was a little bit tight, but I really don't want to chance it and make any changes and possibly go the wrong way. The car is pretty decent at this moment, and he is down and away. A great stop. The 24 car coming down pit road, the Rainbow Warriors, going to make some service on Geoff Gordon, a 4-tire stop. As you recall, they've been battling a loose condition all day long in the Rainbow Warriors pit. Ray Evernham has tried just about everything. They're now on the right side. Mike Trower and company. They've tried spring rubbers, wedge adjustments, track bar adjustments. Nothing really has seemed to work. Now they're back over on the left side now. The captain, Mike Belden, in with a second can of gas. Now let's go to Glenn Jarrett, who's on the backstretch.
And back here, Steve Earnhardt is in there making a chassis adjustment on the left rear. It's a 4-tire stop. Put a rounded bite in the car. The car is still fighting a loose condition. Left side's up right now. Tires runs down and away. 21.1 seconds. Good pit stop under green flag. And Bobby Hamilton follows him in. We get around here, I can see Hamilton. This will also be a 4-tire stop for Bobby Hamilton as well. Hamilton has had one of the fastest cars on the backstretch, but he started to backpedal just a little bit in the last few laps. Tony Overton has already been in and down. Dale Jarrett pitted about 10 laps ago. This should be the last of the fastest cars on the backstretch to pit. Bobby Hamilton down and away in the Kodak Chevrolet. Here's Steve.
And Sean Parker was hurt in that near accident between Mark Martin and Johnny Benson, his right knee. Jack Rouse was just looking at it. So far, he has not received any medical attention. He's walking around with a slight limp on the right leg. Sean, you okay? What happened out there?
I just, 26 car was pulling out. We were coming in. It's just real close there.
You okay?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it again as Ricky Craven is now the leader, where Benson is the 26 pulling out. You see Martin coming in.
I saw this looking like kind of a calamity.
And you see just jumping across, and there
Whoa,
goes Johnny
pinch.
just brushing Sean there at the right rear of the automobile. Fortunately, he's okay. Everybody came out unscathed. Benson is running in 8th. Mark Martin is running.
And he's got a
There's the race
bruise.
leader, Ricky Craven. Remember that Ricky came in early.
It's a close
He was
call.
the first man to pit at lap 158, so he's on a pit sequence of his own. But for now, it's given him the race lead.
It could have been ugly on pit road.
It could have been.
Well, he run himself right in there, though.
Yeah,
he was trying to get to the right rear.
He did. He just focused on that right rear tire. And that's 2 pit road incidents in 2 races.
That would have been a good place to use the tell. Jarrett. So
Toyota has 3 NASCAR Cup teams. 2311 owned by these two, but this guy actually races for his team. And they both share the track with the team owned by this guy. 3 teams, 4 legends, all going after 1 cup. Now you're up to speed. You in?
Rusty Wallace, who led before during the exchange of pit stops at lap number 198, retakes the lead here at lap 209. And guys, we talked about it around 1 o'clock or so. Rusty Wallace is just too good here at this racetrack not to be a factor as the afternoon continues.
Plus, he had a great test program here. Got to see the testing before this race and was really pleased with the test as far as the way the car felt.
And they've stepped up the program in the shop as well. They put a new chassis dyno in. Every time they run a race, they bring that car in. They put it on the chassis dyno, see how it's working. They've added still more people. It's one of the most talent-rich teams in all of Winston Cup.
Now, buddy, folks know that you've done a lot of off-season testing for and with Rusty Wallace. Is this one of the tracks where you had a chance to shake the car down to, or just Daytona?
No, I was in Talladega, and they were down here testing at the same time. I was down with Jeremy Mayfield doing a little running down there, and every time we talked to Rusty, he was really high about this car at this racetrack.
And he's happy right now by 0.4 of a second. He's got the lead on the number 6 of Mark Martin. Mark Martin is the leader for much of the day, but now it's Rusty Wallace.
My son's cooking pizza. I love pizza for breakfast.
It did not. It did
No,
not take
I
long
was
for
watching
Craven's tires to
Nemechek
get eaten up,
and
did it?
Kenny Irwin Jr. They've been hitting each other pretty regular here. A little rub, a little push, a little shove. But they're fixing to go a lap down.
Yes, they are.
Nothing runs from a deer. Oh, no, runs like a deer. Pardon me. From a deer. He's running just as fast as Mark Martin.
245th Winston Cup start. Trickle, it's his 254th Winston Cup start. Trickle's
What
in
a
his
nice
40th
guy
year.
he was.
Junie, his 49th
I'm
year.
very lucky I got
It
to
really
meet him.
is.
Two better champions you won't find, and here goes Jeff Gordon again. That's 4
He
positions.
bummed the smoke off me at Hickory. I think it was in 95.
Before he gets by him.
Well, I don't know. Looks like he's got him, buddy.
He put a slide job on him there, coming out of the corner.
Why don't we check out the Wrangler?
I'll have to look at the race records, but I was going there to, I was at Hickory to score for the X1, the Unifirst Cup. It was LW Miller.
Greg Sachs had at the time, putting some oil down on the racetrack.
He was a rookie.
Average speed having been slowed just a bit, and those in the
I didn't
garage
know
area.
either of them. They just needed a score
Presley had
and
been in for much of the day.
must have asked my
There's
husband
Dale
or
Earnhardt,
something at
19th
the time,
position, the number 3 car.
if he knew anyone
Winner of
that
the Daytona
scored or
500.
the word get around
Kenny
or whatever.
Wallace right
Somehow I
behind him
got
in 20th position now.
hired to score for LW Miller's
Kenny
car,
started second.
which was really cool. But I really didn't meet him. I just remember meeting the team manager and handing him the paperwork after
He
the race.
attacks the North Carolina
That's
Motor
it.
Speedway. Ward Burton does. There's Rusty Wallace trying to put Joe Nemechek another lap down. Joe's already a lap down. He'd go 2 in arrears if Rusty can get by him. We're coming right back.
I thought that was fun.
It's also allowing Dale Jarrett to close in just behind this group. You see DJ right there. He's got Joe Nemechek to negotiate first. Glenn, it's got to help.
Oh, absolutely, Eli. I've been checking times back here, and right now, Johnny Benson and Jeff Gordon and Jeremy Mayfield are the quickest cars on the racetrack. To update you on the cars on the backstretch are in the top 20. Dale Earnhardt is 19th. Bobby Hamilton 16th. Let's see. Bobby Labonte is 12th. Ernie Irvin is 8th, and Dale Jarrett is running 3rd right now. So you got 5 of those guys from back there in the top 20. They're all doing a pretty good job.
That's just following up on one of the storylines of the day about how that back pit area works to one's detriment or potentially no factor should the day have stayed under total green. The Napa Rundown brought to you by Napa. They keep America running, and they've got all the numbers for you here this afternoon.
You know, maybe another storyline that we should have put up at the beginning of the show is the resurgence of one Rusty Wallace, who last week scored his best ever finish in the Daytona 500, and today is looking absolutely terrific. This guy has not led a lap here at Rockingham since October of 1995, despite the fact that he's the winningest active driver here at Rockingham. He's got it together now, doesn't he? Only won one time last year, but this year's looking like a whole bunch better.
You know, Michael Waltrip's run very well today, Eli. All day long, you see Terry Labonte in the 5 there, fighting the inside of the racetrack. Michael Rem riding around this racetrack.
still there. Michael Waltrip, interestingly, has posted only 2 top 10 finishes in the last 21 races. Right now, Matt, he's in 16th spot, battling with Terry Labonte.
Eli, they're expecting a good season from Michael Waltrip and the 21 crew. Eddie Wood told me they've redone their entire organization as far as their cars go. They've got Chip Lane building their chassis and bodies out of Hickory, and they're using a Rouse power plant for the entire season. They felt that maybe where they were lacking a little bit last year. They feel now they have the total package to make a run for Michael Waltrip's first career Winston Cup victory.
Michael had a second place finish at Pocono years ago as his career best to this point. 8th, 9th position, 10th position up for grabs right there on the screen now. Dick Trickle in the 90. That rainbow-colored 36, Ernie Irvin. The 12 on the right of the screen, Jeremy Mayfield. They're battling for position. 7th spot up for grabs in that exchange. The 41, Steve Grissom. He's a lap down after repeated pit stops.
Did you see Ernie Irvin just send in the 36? The back end of the car got very wormy as he got below the white line on the flat part of the racetrack. It made the car kick out. I thought he was about to spin out.
Ernie's fun to watch when the car is wormy, though. He's one of the few guys who can really hang on to a loose race car, still go fast. Guaranteed he's not afraid of it, as a lot of other drivers are.
No doubt about that. There goes Ernie to the inside of Dick Trickle with help from Jeremy Mayfield. 3 wide. They thought about it.
Jeremy, I tell you what, he's exciting to watch. He's the star of the future, no doubt about it.
Now behind those cars, you see the red machine cutting its way through traffic. That's Ricky Craven. He has made stops for tires here seconds ago. He was in at lap 237. Remember, he's on his own pit stop sequence. So he dropped way back. He's now taking on the tires. And from 37th position, Craven will start coming back to the front. And look at that, Trickle holding off Mayfield and Ernie Irvin. But again, not to be surprised. Trickle finished 5th here a year ago.
Young Trickle. Drives like a kid.
Yep. There's Rick Mast. Started on the Bud pole today. He's in 13th. That 75 car. The best Pontiac is just ahead of it. And there's the leader in the middle of your screen, Rusty Wallace, having to deal with traffic. He's got Brett Bodine and Sterling Marlin to deal with.
You know, Sterling fought his way back and got the lead lap again. He's in jeopardy of going a lap down again. He's really wrestling that car around the racetrack. It seems to be very, very loose in the center part of the corner.
Sterling's in 24th. Riding with Ted Musgrave in 26th. Does he go back towards the front? The Winston car there. That's Jimmy Spencer, the 36 Irvin. There's Craven again. Remember, with the fresh tires, he's just been in 5 laps ago. The 7 is Geoff Bodine. He's running 9th.
Jimmy Spencer there in the 23. He saw 2-3 up across up. He said, I got to get in on this.
Kenny Wallace is still 22nd.
Steve Burns, meanwhile, is checking in with Tom Baldwin. Tommy's down there with Dick Trickle as his charge for the day.
Eli, as you said, they had a great run here in October. Tommy, you guys dropped as far back as 28th. Now you're in the top 10. Tell us about your strategy.
Well, we don't have that good of a car to first 30 laps in our run, so I figured we'd short stop on that last stop, and hopefully the times will average out about lap 50 to 80. We're starting to lose a little bit of time right now. Probably about 30 more laps till we come in again, but we're having a good run today, Liz Holly, my Ford Torres. Hopefully we'll end up in the top 10 today.
He's doing some
Tom Baldwin Jr., the son of the great Northeast modified ace Tom Baldwin from Long Island. The number 7 NY that he has made so very popular over the years. Rusty Wallace still leads. There he is, having put the 11 of Brett Bodine another lap down. Mark Martin is second. Then Johnny Benson, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Jarrett.
What?
We did on occasion. We have. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. He just bounced off the wall and kept on going. We have seen Kenny Irwin in. Bobby Labonte has been in. Kyle Petty, Hunt Strickland, Joe Nemechek. Let's go back to pit road.
John Andretti already in his pit stall. Robbie Loomis and the guys going to work. A 4-tire stop for John Andretti. He too has been having problems today, struggling. Now let's go to Steve Burns.
And Matt, Ted Musgrave is in. And as we talked intercepted shot onto their pit lane. So Ted Musgrave in, and we're awaiting Johnny Benson and Mark Martin momentarily.
Martin and Benson are 3rd and 4th. Musgrave in 25th position. Here comes Dick Trickle. He'll slow just a bit. So does Jeff Burton now begin to make himself known on the pit lane. Burton will come in at lap 268.
Eli, this is incredible. Jeff Gordon has figured out something, he and Ray Evernham, to get this car handling. He was completely out of the race. Now he's running Rusty Wallace down. He's only 2 car lengths back.
And Dale Earnhardt is in. Glenn?
Yes, he is, Eli. Earnhardt has come in. I was just looking at the scoreboard at lap 268. This is way earlier than I thought that Earnhardt would pit. Also back
Kenny
here is
Wallace
Bobby Hamilton. He's in the pit 4 times for Earnhardt. Chassis adjustment by air pressure. I'm watching Hamilton, same thing. Hamilton is
Hope
down
they
and
don't
away.
have no
And here
caution
Earnhardt
again and
well.
catch all these guys halfway through cycle again.
Those stops
Boy,
again
that's
taking place under green, which
that's
negates
just a
the
bad
disadvantage
luck
that those teams on the back straightaway would have. And here again, with
they have
Rusty
the
Wallace
frickin'
being
pole.
challenged, Jeff Gordon grabs the lead as they go through the corner and come back to the stripe. That quickly, it all changes. As we've told you, Gordon has been consistently the fastest car on the racetrack. The lead swaps at lap 270.
You can see the cars that's been in the pits, so they're much, much quicker right now than the cars that are out there hanging on, like the 24 car Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace.
Let's go back to Glenn Jarrett.
And Dale Jarrett has brought the Ford credit forward for another pit stop 4 times down and away. Wow, 18.2 seconds for Jarrett. Also, we might want to tell you that Earnhardt's car is running a little bit hot. Here's Matt.
The leaders on pit road. Rusty Wallace will be first to his box, going to work with Bill Wilburn and Mark Hollywood Armstrong, while Jeff Gordon hits his marks. Mike Trower going to work on the right rear Gordon. No chassis adjustments expected for Rusty Wallace. He likes the way his car is handling. Bill Wilburn onto the left side. Also on the left side of Gordon's car, the captain, Mike Belden, for the 24 car with the second can of fuel. He's in. The 24 car's down and away, and he will beat the 2-car off pit road.
And caution is on the speedway in the middle of the
Are
pit
you
stop.
flipping kidding
together in
me?
turns 3 and 4. That is Joe
Oh, you
Nemechek.
don't want to be
You've
that
also
guy.
had Kenny Wallace involved.
Ah,
Steve Burns is on pit road.
Well, Eli, bad break to the 6th and 26th.
So
They
much for
came in
that.
just as that caution flag came out. They did not stop. They dropped it back in gear and went back out. So we'll have to see if in
son of
fact
a-
they have
that's
lost a
dumb.
lap.
It's all in the timing. We talked about it earlier. Kenny Wallace going to the garage. That's Joe Nemechek's car up against the wall. Guys, let's take a look and see what happened out there in turns 3 and 4.
Stella, you smell pizza? We're
Let's
gonna
watch.
have some.
You can see contact
gotta
there
wait.
between the 2 cars.
Too
You see the
hot.
cars up against the wall.
too
Kenny
hot.
Wallace there, the 81. Nemechek in the 42 and the 16 of Ted Musgrave. They made contact in the center part of the corner. Across the racetrack comes Nemechek and into the inside wall.
Kenny Wallace just an innocent victim there with no place to go.
So
It's
Kenny
always
Wallace
the
to the
way,
garage. Ted Musgrave, you see, going to the garage. Rick Mast is the new race leader as caution is on the speedway for the 4th time today. It comes
didn't
out at
do
lap
Lucky Dogs back
274. And how the complexion of this race may just have changed.
You think?
The 77's back in business.
You thirsty? You drinking? I love my puppy.
Then the 11
My
and the
hound
9
dog.
should lead the
I love
inside
my
lane
hound dog. You
with
want more
everybody else
water?
falling in behind them.
You can have pizza. It's hot. You got wait. You good girl.
1 to
She
go,
laid
Pam.
down.
All
She
right.
weighs 80 pounds. She's my best buddy.
Come back.
I used to
Speed
carry her
shot.
around in a little bag. And your name was Little Bear.
So Rusty is 9th in line.
She was Little Bear. Now she's Stella. She's Stella. Thump, thump, thump. Okay. Stella.
Because Jeff Gordon's car is running like it was before the stop. Doomed for a lot of these guys.
She's so cute. She's got her head on her paws waiting. She loves pizza.
Second spot. There's the spread from first back to second. Wallace in the 2, Gordon in the 24.
What's happened to Gordon right now, running that low line?
Gordon's leading, Gordon second. Rusty Wallace third.
He burned his tires a little bit, got him a little too hot to really stick well, and he's going to have to run a few laps here to get his tires
out
back
to
to the
lunch
same
in the back.
temperature as the other cars that he's running with.
Ted Musgrave is back in the race. He's 32 laps down. Robert Presley back in the race. He's 205 laps down as you look high overhead. The Rock, Duralube with tomorrow's technology today, bringing you the overhead pictures. A lot of scramble there for position. Rusty Wallace.
Gain a couple spots if they fixed it and went back out.
Boy, Jeff Gordon's car, when he run into Earnhardt, it was like something went wrong to the car because he is not able to keep the speed that he had before that impact.
It's really not feasible to make use the entire car and not just the corner. Good morning. How are you, Darius? Good to see ya.
Hope you're enjoying it on CNN Motorsports, the first of many, many telecasts this year here on CNN.
This is Rocky.
This network bringing you more NASCAR racing in 1998 than any other network. We're so happy to be able to do that.
You have Bodine and 2 team cars there. Rusty Wallace in second, Jeremy Mayfield in third right now. These 2 cars run this way in Daytona. They have to feel good about their team effort this year.
Up front, Geoff Bodine is the race leader. He was 8th in this event.
This is 1998. I worked for that 17 at the end of 97, the second half of 97.
Did not let anybody by.
No.
He wants to be on that lead lap. I don't blame him.
Has Earnhardt ever let anybody?
You got to scrap.
Still there too.
Lead lap. He's in the number 1 car there. Great job.
Meanwhile, we've been talking all day about the back pit area and what that means. Does it hurt you? Does it not? Does it even out as the afternoon goes?
Steve Park is another New England modified family driver. I watched his father Bob Park race when I was a teenager.
Mayfield can't quite put Earnhardt a lap down. Meanwhile, Jarrett and Herman and Hamilton have pulled away from Mayfield. They desperately need for a caution to come out. They got cars, I think, that could very well contend for the win, or at least for top 10 positions. But they've lost so much track position on that caution pit exchange a while ago that they just need a caution play to catch up. They got fast race cars, but they're way over a half a lap behind.
Here comes Jeff Gordon now into the picture.
Eli, you're exactly right. He's as fast as he was just before that caution right now. He is running Jeremy Mayfield down. He's picked up some 10 car lengths in the past 2 laps.
And you got to wonder if Mayfield has hurt his tires in this effort to get by Dale Earnhardt. Lap after lap, Mayfield has tried to get by him on the bottom side, and Earnhardt's held him off. And meanwhile, here's Gordon closed in. He was just cooling it back there.
Remember, we heard from the guys downstairs that Ray Evernham had said, let those tires cool.
You know, I hit on that. Once you burn those tires, it takes 2 or 3, 4 laps to get them back to the same temperature as the cars you're racing with.
That's the lead battle. Not Earnhardt in the 3. He's in 15th on the tail end of the lead lap. Jeremy Mayfield, former Rookie of the Year in the ARCA Bondo Marhide Series. Former go-kart racer. Former fabricator. Late model stock car driver at the Kentucky
Got
Motor
eyelash
Speedway.
in my eye for about half hour. I think I finally got it.
Oh, this is getting interesting now. We had one more.
I found it interesting for the last 20 laps. These guys are really going. Look at this battle right here.
That's right behind him for 3rd and 4th, and here's the lead. Here goes Gordon. He had the lead for 10 laps, lost it, gets it right back now. Jeff Gordon is again leading here in Rockingham with 67 laps to go.
Boy, this Chevrolet, they can't complain about downforce on this particular Chevrolet because it's getting the job done right now. But he still has one obstacle right in front of him. You see that 3 car. He tried him a while ago, bumped him in the back.
He's got a Ford right behind him going pretty freaking fast.
Earnhardt still using that higher line, though.
All those jobs you had talked about for Jeremy Mayfield, let's add one more. Budding Winston Cup star.
Yeah.
This guy, at the rate he is going, is going to be big in 98.
And they don't make him any nicer.
No, he's a great guy. He really is. Everybody likes him. Easy going.
I'm just so happy to be here.
Yeah.
Here comes Gordon with a good run this time. He should come off the corner side by side with Earnhardt.
To the straight.
Earnhardt trying to prevent himself from going a lap down. Gordon, your race leader.
Earnhardt's in 15th.
Well, everybody's taking a shot at Earnhardt. So far, nobody can get it.
You see where Earnhardt goes in the corner there on the high side of the racetrack, using every bit of this bank that he can. Gordon pinned down to the bottom side of the racetrack. It's very, very hard to pick up the throttle on the inside there and not get into the car on the outside.
Again, 24 Gordon, 12 Mayfield battling for the lead. Earnhardt in the 3, just trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap in 15th. 63 laps to go. One thing that's also happening now is Gordon by just a bit.
Boy, they sounded awesome.
But a lot of racing remains. Now,
Eli, I think the lead cars need to come to the pit road pretty quick here. You see all these cars that are stopped, how much quicker they are. And with just a few laps to go in this race, I think that's going to be very important.
Here comes Rusty Wallace. Robin Pemberton and the boys waiting. You saw Kenny Schrader's car on pit road as Rusty went by. This is at lap 349.
I believe Robin was on Dirty Mo Media just recently.
Smokes the tires coming into his pit. It will be their last pit stop. Mark Hollywood going to work, as well as you can see everybody doing some good fast pit service on the 2 car. A 4-tire stop. They're not going to make any major chassis adjustments. Rusty likes the way the car is handling at the moment. And still more cars coming down pit road. Now let's go to Steve Burns.
Matt, Geoff Bodine's in. They're going to make a chassis adjustment to the right rear. Geoff Bodine said this car is sort of tight. There's a lot of experience on this crew. 3 men who have crew chief experience. Pete Peterson, Terry Wooten, and Tim Brewer calling the shots atop the pit board. The left rear just a tick slower, but Geoff Bodine is finished and down and away.
And here's Jeremy Mayfield coming in, the Mobil 1 colors. Followed by Hut Strickland, he's coming in. Terry Labonte is on the pit lane. And let's see what they do here. One would assume 4 tires and fuel. Michael Waltrip is in, and here comes Jeff Gordon also. Jeff Gordon and Michael Waltrip will pit. 4 tires for Mayfield.
How crucial this is to get in and out very quick.
My dad also brought home several boxes of all his notebooks, so he can know like what races he did work, because he always kept notes.
And Bill Elliott is on pit road. Joe Caroni and his crew getting the service for Bill Elliott. Good stop for Elliott. He's gone.
Johnny Benson is now the race leader with all of these pit stops cycling around. There is Johnny, the Cheerios Ford Taurus. Now the race leader, as he was at lap 52 and at lap 75 and many, many other times today.
Johnny Benson has a cylinder out on the 26 car. He's riding around the bottom of the racetrack. Nevertheless, he isn't showing the lead here.
All of this during pit stops. Here comes Ted Musgrave with the modified look going by. Mike Skinner will make a pit stop at lap 353. Caution! Caution! Kenny Irwin is in the wall in turn number 2. Caution is
Are you kidding? Didn't they just start pit stops again?
The leader is Johnny Benson at the caution, lap 354.
This is about the craziest race I've ever seen for being like the whole time except for mid pit stop cycles. Crazy.
Looked as though Jerry Nadeau and Ernie Irvan will both have to fall in behind Johnny Benson. There was a question as to who beat whom back to the stripe, but indeed Johnny Benson being shown as the race leader, and Jerry Nadeau will have to drop back in line along with Ernie Irvan. But that'll be handled routinely by NASCAR, and we're under caution. How about it?
Wow, I mean, Jeremy, I'm just watching all these cars as they sort out everybody after the pit stops here. Jimmy Spencer is much in the battle now. He's showing in second place.
Jimmy Spencer was one of the very first drivers to pit at lap 341. He's been out there for 14 laps already, and he is behind Johnny Benson on the overall rundown. There is Jimmy Spencer. Donnie Wingo and the guys gave him great cars at Daytona, but now Jimmy's going to come in again.
Yeah, he had pitted earlier, and as a result, his tires had a few more laps on him than everybody else, so he wisely is coming in to put 4 fresh ones on under this caution flag.
Donnie Wingo, the crew chief, changes the right front tires there.
Sure don't see much of that anymore. Used to be
counting how many cars are on the lead lap. It looked like 4.
Steve Burns is there with the Johnny Benson bunch.
Hey, Eli, yeah, Johnny Benson ain't getting, 4 brand new tires, 4 Goodyears on the Cheerios Taurus. Want to go down and double check on the engine problem they may be having, but he's had a strong run here today. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
A 4-tire pit stop for Rick Mast. Rick reported into Dave Charpentier. His car is awesome on long runs, and they just dropped the jack. They just dropped the jack on the 75 car. Definitely losing some time here as they're trying to get the wheels back on. Boy, it's bad luck for Rick Mast when it rains and pours. That was good at Glenn Jarrett.
And Dale Jarrett, according to the
now all the cars a lap down or more will come
somehow, and he has come in to change tires again. He didn't have very many tires on that, but he was at the tail end of the lead lap if the scoring is correct, so he has nothing to lose anyway. He's the last car in the lead lap, so he's got 4 fresh Goodyears.
He's also on the backstretch, so
caution for the 5th time. The hood is up.
That's
the hood is down as repairs continue on Johnny Benson's car here at the Rock within shouting distance of the finish. Of a hit too.
Yep.
Oops.
In that blue and yellow number 31.
Mayfield's car badly damaged. That's it.
Steve Burns?
Yep, we're right here.
I don't know what you can see from the left, but trust me, the right looks terrible.
Well, I can see enough to know the hood's bowed up where it shouldn't be on this side of pit road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on the right side of the car. There's smoke coming out underneath of it. Tough break. What a great run for young Jeremy Mayfield.
Look at Michael Waltrip's car there, front and rear damage.
Let's take a look and see what happened here, fellas. Let's watch. Where does it start? Well, there it is. Ernie Irvan was high with Steve Park. Waltrip. There's Mayfield on the low side of the track.
Completely out of the action there. He was on the flat part of the racetrack, just trying to skirt by and
got Jesus.
Yeah. Skidder came off the wall, and Earnhardt was there.
Bobby Labonte with a heck of a hit, too.
Yep. Whole bunch of people who just had no place to go.
I wonder what got Ernie and Park up there. I guess it just kind of ran out of racetrack.
Well, they've been running so tight together at the front of the pack. This is getting toward the end of the race, and everybody's just trying to do the best they possibly can. You have that many cars and drivers that motivated, and oh boy.
Michael Waltrip, Skinner.
Hud Strickland in the 8 just got by.
Sterling Marlin also was very, very cautious through there. Made it through. You see in the 40. Oh, he gets into Michael just a little bit there with the right front corner.
Michael in the 21. Waltrip has already gone to the garage. Watch Bobby Labonte.
Just about everybody.
There's another look. A lot of work on Jeremy Mayfield's car.
Looks like they got Rusty too. But no, he's in the lead.
Under caution at Rockingham.
Let's jump ahead.
The what now?
You see the 23 there?
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. No Bull is right in the middle of it.
He may bull his way through those.
You guys.
Runs in second. Geoff Bodine third. Mark Martin fourth. Mr. Excitement Jimmy Spencer is fifth. Bill Elliott is 6th. Rick
I sometimes
Mass
do
continues on in
skip
7th.
ahead
Ahead
quicker
of Dale
on these
Jarrett 8th. Terry Labonte 9th. Ricky
past
Craven
some
is
of the
10th.
talking.
That's your top 10 right
Depending.
now. As
I
we
like
work
pit
our way down
stuff.
towards the final
Pit
few
road
laps
stuff's
here
cool.
at the North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham.
The one advantage right now that 24 car has over the entire field is he has open racetrack to run. The rest of them are having to contend with heavy traffic back in the pack. So Gordon right now is running the racetrack. Everybody else is running competition.
He's a two-time winner here. Won this race last spring. Rusty Wallace running behind him. 5 times he's won here. Geoff Bodine in 3rd spot. This is his 33rd try at Rockingham. Never won. He's been second.
Eli, this is what I'm talking about. You see, right now, Jarrett probably has as good a car as anybody out here, but he's hung up in this traffic in this fight to get back to the front right now, and really having a time of it.
Riding with Ricky Craven in 9th.
Look at the sky.
That's what they call close competition.
Oh, okay,
Like
no,
one
it's
more
just
layer
a
of
fade
paint
on the edge. I was like, holy crap, it looked like a big storm
Jeff
cloud.
Gordon. If he can win this race, he would join Rusty Wallace, Kyle Petty, and Richard Petty as winners of consecutive good wrench races here at Rockingham.
Looking awful good right now.
Lap 378, just 15 to go.
What a job his crew has done today in turning a car that wasn't fast into the leader. Seemed like every time Gordon went on pit road, every time he had a chance to have that crew lay their hands on it, it just got faster and faster.
Ray Evernham looks on. Crew chief, coach, best friend of Jeff Gordon.
And a pretty darn good crew chief.
Mark Martin is making a run back to the front, guys. He's moving in on Bodine. You see Bodine up there in the 7 car just in front as he come off turn 4 right now. Mark Martin is driving this racetrack. He's using every inch of it to get maximum speed out of his car, but right behind him is Jimmy Spencer.
And Mark Martin sure knows how to win here. 9 times in Busch Grand National racing. He's a Winston Cup winner here as well.
But his last top 5 here at Rockingham was back in 1995. That's for 7th place on your screen. Terry Labonte in the 5 has the inside against Dale Jarrett. That's for 7th. Craven right behind him there. We're riding with Ricky now. He's in 9th. Bobby Hamilton's 10th. Rick Mast 11th. Ward Burton is 12th. John Andretti is in 13th. Those 13 teams on the lead lap. If you're wondering if Jeremy Mayfield, he's being shown in 14th spot now.
That was an interesting shot.
Yeah.
You could see that Ricky Craven was turning 8,500 down the front straightaway by the tachometer there.
Wow. Craven with that vibration earlier in the day, some out-of-sequence pit stops, and after having looked so good at the very beginning, running into mechanical problems, he has fought his way back. Boy, it almost looked like he hit the wall right there coming out of the corner. Fought himself back to the top 10th position he's in now. He's running in 9th spot.
Meanwhile, 3rd place, a great battle. 3 wide, Spencer inside. Bodine in the middle, Mark Martin to the outside.
Martin has a good run off the corner. Should be able to close Bodine out coming off that corner side by side.
You got Bill Elliott right behind them in 6th. Geoff Bodine, last top 5 here was a 4th place finish in 1991. Been a while. Jimmy Spencer in the 23, that red and white machine. His best ever Rockingham finish was an 8th back in 1990. And this is his 18th time here in a Nascar Winston Cup car.
Car in his hometown is from Ellerby, right down the road, literally right down the road from this racetrack. Got a lot of friends and fans here cheering on the 23.
I don't think you can drive one in any harder than Jimmy Spencer just went into turn 3. That's just a second ago on the outside there, went in, made up some 4 car length on Bodine just getting in the corner. Got a great run off the corner again.
There's Kenny Wallace, middle of your screen there to the inside, having just returned from the garage area.
Okay,
he's in 38th, trying to pick up a few more laps before this race is said and done.
I think
and by making 2 laps,
contact Elliott and Bodine.
I think they got 3 points per position in the back of the field.
Me one too. I thought they were both
In the front of the field is 5 points per position, and then it goes to 4, and then
that's on the screen. Gordon's lead is 0.8 of a second on Rusty Wallace. Good three-wide battling middle of the field. You've got Jarrett, Terry Labonte there, Jeff Green, Ken Schrader, Raven. They're all looking for some running room.
Raven fished tails a little bit. He was very close to getting into loose shavings on the high side of the racetrack there.
That was close to wrecking.
Walt Green, the NASCAR official there in the background, trying to point something out. What he's pointing out is that my guy's about a second and a third ahead of everybody else. Mike Skinner's gone to the garage. Kenny Wallace has gone back to the garage. You know, by Wallace coming out and running 3 laps, he is going to finish 38th instead of 39th. Might be a difference or something at season's end.
4 to go.
5 laps to go, now 4.
I know what the concern is right now. Jeremy Mayfield in the 12 car is just about 15 car lengths ahead of Jeff Gordon. Rusty Wallace in second is just behind him.
Interesting. Again, they're corporate teammates. To go. Matt, what was Ray Evernham concerned about?
Eli, he was concerned about the 12 car. Not that the 12 car might intentionally block the 24, but he just wanted to relay to Walt Green if he could talk to the crew chief of the 12, Paul Andrews, and say, hey, look, we're coming. We'd appreciate some consideration.
And clearly, Jeremy Mayfield has let him go right by. Plenty of room between them all.
But that's heads up. I mean, Jeremy Mayfield's class out. He would
2
never
laps
do anything
to go.
like that. But it's smart of Ray Evernham to let them know he's on his way.
Ray Evernham leaves no detail unattended.
They're coming to the white flag. Jimmy Howell has it in hand. The white is in the air. One more lap around. 1 mile now remaining for Jeff Gordon.
Gordon's gonna win himself another one, I guess, huh?
He started 4th. This will be his 3rd Rockingham win and his 30th career victory. Of those 30 victories, 22 have been on super speedways. And he has now won 28 of the last 100 Winston Cup races. Jeff Gordon wins at Rockingham. Rusty Wallace second. 3rd is Martin Spencer. Great battles all the way down to the stripe. Unofficially, Gordon, Wallace, Martin, Spencer, Jeff Bodine, Phil Elliott, Jarrett, Labonte,
That was
and
pretty
Craven
fun.
in that order. High fives for the Rainbow Warriors. And can you imagine one guy winning 28 of the last 100 races? Matt Yoakum, that's remarkable.
Boy, what a big day for the Rainbow Warriors, a patented day for the Rainbow Warriors. Battle all day, never give up, never refuse to lose. These guys, boy, what a great win. You got to give a call to Michael Landis, too, the new spotter for the Rainbow Warriors. He took over today for Dave Tapman. What a big day for these guys. Ray Evernham, these guys never gave up. A patented day for the Rainbow Warriors, Ray.
Yeah, it was a pretty awesome day. You know, I want to thank God first because he walked with us today, and you know, just unbelievable. I don't know how better to say to refuse to lose than what these guys did today. It was awesome, awesome day, and I am so proud to be part of this team. You can't believe it.
Well, it's hard to top those. An awesome day. Sentiments from Ray Evernham.
All righty, guys.
When we
I'm
come
ready
back,
to know.
we will head to Victory Lane along with the Rainbow Warriors.
Thank you for
Jeff
showing up.
Gordon wins
Thank
at
you.
Rockingham.
Love you
We're
all.
back on TNN in a moment.